You're watching the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week, presented by Caring Hands Home Health. A spooky Friday night in Kernersville, final week of the regular season. East Forsyth in the nest. They welcome the Reagan Raiders, and a great Friday for high school football. Happy Halloween, everybody, with my hot dog friend, Mark Covert. I'm the Pharaoh Evan Budrovich. East Forsyth dominant the last 3 weeks, wins by 100. You're watching the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week, presented by Caring Hands Home Health. A spooky Friday night in Kernersville, final week of the regular season. East Forsyth in the nest. They welcome the Reagan Raiders, and a great Friday for high school football. Happy Halloween, everybody, with my hot dog friend, Mark Covert. I'm the Pharaoh Evan Budrovich. East Forsyth dominant the last 3 weeks, wins by 100 combined points. Reagan battling for playoff positioning in 7A football. Mark, first. Happy Halloween, everybody, with my hot dog friend, Mark Covert. I'm the Pharaoh Evan Budrovich. East Forsyth dominant the last 3 weeks, wins by 100 combined points. Reagan battling for playoff positioning in 7A football. Mark, first of all, you look fabulous. Secondly, a big high school. You're watching the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week, presented by Caring Hands Home Health. A spooky Friday night in Kernersville, final week of the regular season. East Forsyth in the nest. They welcome the Reagan Raiders and a great Friday for high school football. Happy Halloween, everybody, with my hot dog friend, Mark Covert. I'm the Pharaoh Evan Budrovich. East Forsyth dominant the last 3 weeks, wins by 100 combined points. Reagan battling for playoff positioning in 7A football. Mark, first of all, you look fabulous. Secondly, a big high school preview tonight.
Well, likewise to you, my friend. Absolutely spectacular. It's a massive preview within the state of North Carolina. These are two teams fighting for that positioning, and the winner here tonight potentially has a first-round bye next week. But really, it comes down to running the football for both these teams here tonight. East has done it so well, committing to the run here late. Cannon Rottweiler has been an animal in the backfield. But Reagan loves to run the football too, and John Evans is going to get a healthy dose of totes here tonight. It's going to be a really good one here from the nest on Halloween.
And we found Rudolph in the stands tonight. Here's our sideline reporter, Hannah Brady.
Yeah, guys, the battle for second place tonight, and really the tale of two teams heading into this one. East Forsyth on a 3-game winning streak has really found their stride here at the back half of this season. Head coach Todd Willard says a lot of that success is due to going back to the run and just being more physical. He said the only changes they've made here in the coaching staff is just doing the little things rather than getting together and just talking about it. And that's a different story tonight for Reagan, though, coming in with a loss last weekend. They're looking to flip the script. Head coach Josh McGee told us on Monday he had a long conversation with his team about the message of this too shall pass. He says that they have a lot of meat left still on the bone and they need to saddle in order to not make it 2 losses heading into the postseason, guys.
Thanks, Hannah. These teams relishing a senior night matchup here in the nest. When we come back, we got kickoff. East Forsyth and Reagan, a battle for 7A supremacy, and a nice playoff preview here on My 48 Sports. You're watching the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week, presented by Caring Hands Home Health. A spooky Friday night in Kernersville, final week of the regular season. East Forsyth in the nest. They welcome the Reagan Raiders and a great Friday for high school football. Happy Halloween, everybody, with my hot dog friend, Mark Covert. I'm the Pharaoh Evan Budrovich. East Forsyth dominant the last 3 weeks, wins by 100 combined points. Reagan battling for playoff positioning in 7A football. Mark, first of all, you look fabulous. Secondly, a big high school preview tonight.
Well, likewise to you, my friend. Absolutely spectacular. It's a massive preview within the state of North Carolina. These are two teams fighting for that positioning, and the winner here tonight potentially has a first-round bye next week. But really, it comes down to running the football for both these teams here tonight. East has done it so well, committing to the run here late. Cannon Rottweiler has been an animal in the backfield. But Reagan loves to run the football too, and John Evans is going to get a healthy dose of totes here tonight. It's going to be a really good one here from the nest on Halloween.
And we found Rudolph in the stands tonight. Here's our sideline reporter, Hannah Brady.
Yeah, guys, the battle for second place tonight, and really the tale of two teams heading into this one. East Forsyth on a 3-game winning streak has really found their stride here at the back half of this season. Head coach Todd Willard says a lot of that success is due to going back to the run and just being more physical. He said the only changes they've made here in the coaching staff is just doing the little things rather than getting together and just talking about it. And that's a different story tonight for Reagan, though, coming in with a loss last weekend. They're looking to flip the script. Head coach Josh McGee told us on Monday he had a long conversation with his team about the message of this too shall pass. He says that they have a lot of meat left still on the bone and they need to saddle in order to not make it 2 losses heading into the postseason, guys.
Thanks, Hannah. These teams relishing a senior night matchup here in the nest. When we come back, we got kickoff. East Forsyth and Reagan, a battle for 7A supremacy, and a nice playoff preview here on My 48 Sports. Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week, presented by Caring Hands Home Health. A spooky Friday night in Kernersville.
And working part-time. In Cannon's spare time, he gives back to his community by volunteering to read to elementary school students on Fridays. From Reagan High School, Reagan Sophia Tabaka has been a member of the varsity girls tennis team all read to elementary school students on Fridays. From Reagan High School, season, Tatum and Atkinson Law Firm will recognize an exceptional senior student athlete from each of the participating schools with a plaque presentation prior to each game. This week's Throughout the 2025 Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rival season, Tatum and Atkinson Law Firm will recognize an exceptional senior student athlete from each of the participating schools with a plaque presentation prior to each game. This week's Tatum and Atkinson Scholar Athletes are from East Forsyth High School. East Forsyth's Cannon Rottweiler is a 2-year varsity starter and leading rusher for the Eagles, back-to-back years. He currently holds a 4.273 weighted GPA and has maintained above a 4.0 GPA while being a student athlete and working part-time. In Cannon's spare Throughout the 2025 Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rival season, Tatum and Atkinson Law Firm will recognize an exceptional senior student athlete from each of the participating schools with a plaque presentation prior to each game. This week's Tatum and Atkinson Scholar Athletes are from East Forsyth High School. East Forsyth's Cannon Rottweiler is a 2-year varsity starter and leading rusher for the Eagles, back-to-back years. He currently holds a 4.273 weighted GPA and has maintained above a 4.0 GPA while being a student athlete and working part-time. In Cannon's spare time, he gives back to his community by volunteering to read to elementary school students on Fridays. From Reagan High School, Reagan Sophia Tabaka has been a member of the Throughout the 2025 Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rival season, Tatum and Atkinson Law Firm will recognize an exceptional senior student athlete from each of the participating schools with a plaque presentation prior to each game. This week's Tatum and Atkinson Scholar athletes are from East Forsyth High School. East Forsyth's Cannon Rottweiler is a 2-year varsity starter and leading rusher for the Eagles, back-to-back years. He currently holds a 4.273 weighted GPA and has maintained above a 4.0 GPA while being a student athlete and working part-time. In Cannon's spare time, he gives back to his community by volunteering to read to elementary school students on Fridays. From Reagan High School, Reagan's Sophia Tabaka has been a member of the varsity girls tennis team all 4 years and is team co-captain this season. She currently holds a 4.587 weighted GPA and is on the science and math academic team. Sophia is a National Honor Society member, an AP scholar, and in the top 5% of her graduating class. Sophia involves herself in the community by volunteering at Winston-Salem Open and at St. Leo's as an assistant teacher. Cannon, Sophia, and other nominated students are also eligible to win a $5,000 scholarship to be presented at the end of the season.
You're watching the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week, presented by Caring Hands Home Health. A spooky Friday night in Kernersville, final week of the regular season. East Forsyth in the nest. They welcome the Reagan Raiders and a great Friday for high school football. Happy Halloween, everybody, with my hot dog friend, Mark Covert. I'm the Pharaoh Evan Budrovich. East Forsyth dominant the last 3 weeks, wins by 100 combined points. Reagan battling for playoff positioning in 7A football. Mark, first of all, you look fabulous. Secondly, a big high school preview tonight.
Well, likewise to you, my friend. Absolutely spectacular. It's a massive preview within the state of North Carolina. These are two teams fighting for that positioning, and the winner here tonight potentially has a first-round bye next week. But really, it comes down to running the football for both these teams here tonight. East has done it so well, committing to the run here late. Cannon Rottweiler has been an animal in the backfield. But Reagan loves to run the football too, and John Evans is going to get a healthy dose of totes here tonight. It's going to be a really good one here from the nest on Halloween.
And we found Rudolph in the stands tonight. Here's our sideline reporter, Hannah Brady.
Yeah, guys, the battle for second place tonight, and really the tale of two teams heading into this one. East Forsyth on a 3-game winning streak has really found their stride here at the back half of this season. Head coach Todd Willard says a lot of that success is due to going back to the run and just being more physical. He said the only changes they've made here in the coaching staff is just doing the little things rather than getting together and just talking about it. And that's a different story tonight for Reagan, though, coming in with a loss last weekend. They're looking to flip the script. Head coach Josh McGee told us on Monday he had a long conversation with his team about the message of this too shall pass. He says that they have a lot of meat left still on the bone and they need to saddle in order to not make it 2 losses heading into the postseason, guys.
Thanks, Hannah. These teams relishing a senior night matchup here in the nest. When we come back, we got kickoff. East Forsyth and Reagan, a battle for 7A supremacy, and a nice playoff preview here on My 48 Sports. Welcome back to this Halloween night. Here's our Skywatch weather game forecast. Chief meteorologist Jonathan Went. He's predicting cold weather, but pretty good-looking weather tonight here in Kernersville.
It is perfect football weather. We're at peak season for foliage, although, of course, we won't see that now this evening. But it is as close to football weather at its peak point as we're going to get, Evan.
18th all-time meeting, Reagan and East. East has dominated the recent series. How do the Eagles continue that trend?
Well, both of the keys tonight really for both teams are very similar for good reason. At this point, you are who you are. You do what you do. It's running the football. It's controlling the line of scrimmage on both sides. If you are Reagan, as well as just recapturing that dominance on defense. 35-0 last week, couldn't get much going. And then running the football. And it's really come down the shoulders of young and stud Cannon Rottweiler in the backfield for East. And he's going to have a big part in creating some separation and some space for them to get some of the explosive plays they have lacked throughout the course of this season.
Two seniors you spotlight early. How do these start running backs take over tonight?
Well, defensive lineman really, and King Kalama is a monster along that defensive line. Just one of the better defensive linemen we've seen come out of Reagan, and that says a lot. They've had a couple studs go through there. He's going to have a lot to say with some of the pressure and what he does in the run game here tonight. And you can't really go about talking about the defense from 1-0 to the other. On the other side, Adrian Solomon Jr. is a heat-seeking missile. He's the vocal leader, not just for the defense of the Eagles, but for the entire team, and he is a game wrecker at that linebacker spot.
And now we're ready for some football. Halloween night. A lot of games in the state played on Thursday, but we knew primetime football, a great student section here in the Nest. But an East program that will not win the Central Piedmont this year, that's West Forsyth. Overtime winner over East. The students are ready to go. And there's the kick return man, Bryce Taylor Thompson. Reagan shut out by West a week ago. Both teams want to finish strong in the Central Piedmont. And Braden Cressamore sends it away. Low kick. And Reagan dies on it on the 30. So that's how we get started tonight. And it's in the hands of the NC State commit, Jacob Smith, senior quarterback, who this year, Mark, doesn't have the prolific passing numbers, but learning to manage this offense.
And I think that's been important for what they've wanted to do. John Evans has been the guy toting the rock, and he's been great from that running back spot, but it means your quarterback has to manage the game, not turn the football over, and make the plays when needed. That's exactly what Jacob Smith has done this year.
You see Smith with that left knee injury, 9 months off an ACL, 5 touchdowns, 6 picks this year, and he leans on the running game of John Evans Jr. the third. Evan gets it on the first play, and no gain. The Mountain Fried Chicken starting attack. We noted Smith. We noted Evans. The market really begins on this offensive line. Issa Evans, who's going to App State, anchors at left tackle.
Yeah, and he's a great anchor at that blindside spot. So many good, prolific guys. And that is a massive starting five up front, arguably the biggest in the area.
Including left guard, Thomas Caldwell, 300 pounds. A lot of beef on that left side. Reagan as a team, it's 200 yards rushing a game. 25 rushing touchdowns, live on the ground. Look at this pursuit. Smith keeps it, and Jacob Smith dives short of the sticks, gains 8 that time.
Pretty important play there, too. Obviously, you saw the commitment to Evans on that play defensively by East Forsyth. Those are the plays. When he's called upon, Jacob Smith has to make them. Great read, pulls the football out, and gets good yards.
Tremendous pursuit from Isaiah Edwards and Chosen Hyman, the 2 rush ends.
Third and short here. This is where Reagan loves to operate out of in these opportunities, this down and distance.
Josh McGee calls the plays for the Reagan program, facing 3rd and 2. Smith scrambles, design throw, and a deep shot, wanting a penalty. Incomplete for Josiah Patterson. And this East Forsyth defense, couple of changes from early in the season. Chosen Hyman's moved from outside rush to inside rush, and it's really solidified this D-line.
It really has, and then being able to move around a ton up front has helped. It gives them more versatility, more depth up front as well. You allow your guys to mix and match with the matchups they see along that offensive front and take advantage where they see fit.
Isaiah Edwards, the captain on this D-line. Here's the punt from Couch. Oh, big pressure. And the punt for Reagan actually works pretty well inside the 30. That's where East Forsyth gets the football. They'll mark it around the 25.
Well, Marion Hayes, number 99 for East Forsyth, blew up a blocker back there and almost subsequently blocked a punt because of it. Very fortunate that that play gets off just a second sooner, half a second sooner for Reagan.
Hayes heading to Carolina next year with Bill Belichick, a great defensive lineman. And here's Jaden Fulp's offense, filling the shoes of Bryce Baker, the 5-star quarterback. Fulp, 16 touchdowns, but looking to connect on the explosive plays this year. Has struggled with the deep ball for the senior QB. Fulp sends the tight end in motion here on first down. And good pursuit by King Kalama on this defensive line. The Mountain Fried Chicken starting attack. Cannon Rottweiler, your star tailback, 12 touchdowns. And then Jai Richburg, the NC State receiver.
And you talked about that struggle to get those explosive plays, but between Jai Richburg and Christian Capita, you would think that they would be able to have more of those plays down the field. They just have not been able to connect.
Yeah, Cepeda 5 touchdowns to complement Richburg. It's 2 big-time receivers and a program that's produced Keyshawn Brown at Duke, J.P. Gilchrist at Catawba the last handful of years. And the running game's going nowhere early. This defense anchored by Leo Hausel-Rajacic, who was the tackles leader in the state last year. He's at a modest 80 tackles in Week 10, but he anchors this Mountain Fried Chicken defense.
Hey, missed last week. Big-time matchup here to get the feet back under them. Rajacic is the motor for this defense, a great guy at that linebacker spot, a commander of everything.
By the way, that chicken's not greasy. That's the tagline of Mountain Fried Chicken. Great pregame meal all year long. Alonzo McCoy, number 14, he's been excellent. 5 sacks as a rush end. And this Reagan defense, over 50 tackles per loss. Here's 3rd and 10. Fulp goes short. That's Richburg breaking a tackle, and he gets the first, gains 10. He's got explosive ability in the slot.
And he does. He works right in the middle of that zone, sits down just a little bit, and that's what you get when you get versatile receivers like that, big body guys. They break the tackles, and they're allowed to get those yards after contact.
Jai Richburg following a great formula of elite receivers here at East. Takes the ball 1 yard, turns it into 10. And those are the plays we've known East has struggled on the 20, 30-yard passes, but they've been great in these intermediate routes.
Well, really something that they haven't been accustomed to is just driving the football. They don't have those explosive plays, so you have to get points on the board by just death by 1,000 cuts. That's what it's been so far here for East. But going into the postseason, you want to see some of that explosive nature start to reemerge.
Jaden Fulp last week, 11 of 14, 114 yards, dinking and dunking for a couple touchdowns. Now Cepeda in motion on 2nd down. Quick out, Richburg. Great coverage. That's 7 Glover, who perfectly wears 7. Nice tackle.
Just a guy who, smart player, but always seems to be in the right place at the right time. 7 Glover may be the smartest player on this entire defense, and it's full of studs, but he finds a way to make impacts all over the field. You see it there, dips underneath the block, makes the play.
Glover was starting as a freshman 2 years ago. This staff loved 7 as a young player. He now has 5 career interceptions, and he'll cover Richburg most of this game. Another 3rd and long for East. D coordinator Richard Burton's jumping for his life. Here's Richburg going outside. And Richburg is right at the sticks. That'll depend on the measurement. They rule him short. So 4th down coming up.
Just shy. Good play design this time. Get around the outside. Looked like maybe there was a little bit of a hold on the outside, but the refs decided not to call that one.
Nick Flowers with the stop, so it's 4th and inches. And here comes the power back, Craig McGee, in the game. Wildcat, Rottweiler, is spun down short. Great defense. And a stop on 4th down. Hausel-Rajacic again.
Right on the money, just knifing through that offensive line, makes the play there, recognizes Wildcat set, you're accounting for one man. That's Cannon Rottweiler in the backfield, and Rajacic is there for the play. What a stop on 4th down.
This Reagan defense can fly around the football. And now we have a turnover on downs.
A lot of size on that front 7 of Reagan, but also a lot of speed. Smart players taking the physical ability they have and putting it to good use.
Last week it was West Forsyth jumping up by 4 touchdowns in the first half, and Josh McGee noted, we were not ready for that kind of performance. Our offense just couldn't get going.
And it's a gut check thing. This is one of those games, especially late in the season, it's going to galvanize your team one way or another. You're going to find out exactly where Reagan is. They're making the postseason, no doubt about it. But are they ready to make that leap?
Jacob Smith with good field position goes short and misses his target. Wanted Mekhi Brown on the outside.
And Brown was not really going to go anywhere on that play, more than likely. Zion Dobson was right there covering his back. And almost if that ball had sailed a little bit higher and wider, had a chance at interception.
8 picks for this East defense. They've been ball hawks this year. Replaced a great DB in Chris Kirby, Nathan Stewart, Hunter Tackle. Linebackers now playing at FCS. A lot of talent coming back, though, for East. And on second down, here's Evans. Right at the line, breaks the tackle, spins into East territory. Evans keeps pushing. Actually gets 4 on that one. Hard run from the sophomore running back.
Half and half play there. Great job initially by that East defense to stuff the line and cause Evans to stop his feet. But that's where Evans takes advantage, continues to drive, finds some room to work with, and picks up good yardage on second down.
Evans, 8 yards a carry. It's one of the best in the region. 17 touchdowns. Big time back at 210 pounds. And now a whistle. Early movement. There's Derek Bryant, longtime defensive coordinator. Tim Devericks, the former Davie County head coach, also in the secondary staff. There's a lot of experience in this coaching staff.
It sure is. Brandon Lawson, the other guy in that defensive backfield, coaching alongside Devericks. A lot of coaching experience along that defensive backfield. And here on third down, they're going to be tested. You got to think this football's going in the air.
Here's 3rd and 10, little play action. Smith throws it short, great pass rush. And that was Adrian Solomon, the linebacker, with a hit. And Smith slow to get up.
He crushed Jacob Smith that time. Came free on the blitz, delayed. Not only does it delay the response from Smith, and he can't step into that throw, but he gets plastered on top of that, just right at the point of contact.
That was an unmarked linebacker. That's dangerous. Remember, Smith had the ACL tear a year ago. That's always a interesting moment.
And you get those delayed blitzes, or the ones from depth where they're not hitting right away. Offensive line's already occupied. You can't account for it.
Here comes the punt unit. Richburg lets it bounce. And that'll be pinned inside the 10. Nice boot from Spencer Lindquist. And now it dies at the 9-yard line. And we'll step aside for a timeout. Hi, guys. When we back, we got some more football here in Winston-Salem. Scoreless game here in the first quarter. What do you guys think of my Pharaoh top here on my 48? Tonight's game's being streamed live on YouTube and Facebook. Tip Top Roofing help us out tonight. Faith Family Football Roofing. And Mark, good defense from Reagan early, and this East pass rush has dominated this first quarter.
Well, you get to those obvious passing situations. Reagan loves to run the football. They get outside of that, things are a little more dicey that way. Under 50% completion percentage on the year. Really nice job by East on the first 2 drives, limiting those explosive plays in the passing game, and then first drive for Reagan, stopping the run and getting a huge stop on 4th down.
Here's Jaden Full. Last year, East Forsyth had 25 drives of 2 minutes or less. They were explosive offensively with Richburg and Gilchrist. This year, a little more 10 yards at a time. As Rottweiler able to break loose, he gets 15 there on first down, longest run of the night.
I love the blocking up front, and then Rottweiler just following those big guys, paving the way for him, getting through, and once he gets to the secondary, breaks a couple tackles, keeps those legs churning for another first down.
Rottweiler, 7 yards of rush. He gets the ball again, and he might get 10 here. Good second effort for the Crescent Ford first down. What has East done to open up these holes on this drive?
Well, they're just being more physical, and that's going to be a focal point in tonight's game on both sides. Which team finds that physicality factor, and they start to dominate in that area. That line of scrimmage, more than any other game, is going to be so huge.
Quick moving offense. Richburg gets it on the sweep, cuts it back. Oh, Richburg, electric! Joey Richburg! No catching Richburg for 65. There's the explosive plays for East Forsyth.
When we saw this same East Forsyth team 3 weeks ago in their overtime loss to West Forsyth, there was not nearly enough touches for Jai Richburg in that game. Held very silent throughout the course of that night. It was going to be a key point. Where is number 11, and how do we get him involved? We've seen him a couple times on a pass, and now a touch pass across. He reverses field, and from there, it's the athletic ability and the straight line speed to end the play.
Extra point coming after the run home of a triad touchdown. And Ismar Areola Meza drills it. East Forsyth struggling all year with the big plays. They lean on their four-star receiver, Jai Richburg, his 32nd career touchdown. What a start for the Eagles here on Halloween. Here's tonight's Beatty Plumbing Fan Cam. Do you know a straight flush beats a full house? And here in the Nest, his students are fired up after a 65-yard touchdown.
Yeah, they should be, right? Finally, an explosive play for this offense. It's been trying to find it so much this year after being so successful on creating those big plays throughout the course of the last several seasons. And that man right there, Jai Richburg, creating some noise early on.
32 touchdowns for Richburg. And keep in mind, last year's offense, 100 total touchdowns. It was up and down. Bryce Baker leading a double-digit win season. This year's team more defensive-minded. Todd Lord said, we have a championship defense. Need a little more from our offense to make a move in the playoffs. And a short kick goes to the 30. Right now, if you're Jacob Smith, though, pass protection is number one, keeping him upright, ready to go.
100%, but really, that's almost number two. Number one needs to be staying on time and staying on schedule. Getting those yards and not committing penalties to push yourself back and committing to every single play, being the physical team. That's what Reagan football is this year and almost every year.
33 passing touchdowns for Smith in his young tenure. The senior earned his first start before he could drive. He was 14 at the time. Now he goes to Evans, the youngster. He gains 4 early yards. And there was conversation last year about possibly returning an elite running back in Moore. He stays at High Point Christian. They're now top 10 at the NCHSAA level. But Evans has come in as a sophomore and been even better, 10 yards a carry.
And he has been absolutely spectacular. Just another one of those running backs in a long line that is starting to form of really excellent backs that have taken the rock back at Reagan.
Yeah, Jalen Moore was electric, 1,000 yards 2 years ago.
Fantastic. It still is. But the youth factor in John Evans Jr. and what he brings to the table already is so mesmerizing.
Here's 2nd and 6. Smith gets out of the pocket. Nice dump down. There's Evans. Breaks it out of one tackle on a hard hit in the secondary from Zion Dobson, the sophomore corner.
I like it by Jacob Smith there. Didn't love the initial decision to break the pocket and get outside. He's pressured because he does, but recognizes Evans slip out, makes a smart play, just dumps it down, let your stud back go to work.
A critical 3rd and short with East. 3 sacks tonight on Smith. And Josh McGee is talking to the referee this entire play. And now a whistle. Remember, at halftime, we have the Medical Minute presented by NCHSAA. They manage the delivery of health and human-related services for all North Carolinians. NCHSAA. We'll give you a little halftime update there in a few moments. Josh McGee not liking the call that set up 3rd and 2, so he'll talk it over. 15 years now at Reagan. He's the second longest tenured coach in the region.
Behind who?
Todd Willard.
Yeah, exactly.
His good buddy. And they said, most of the time with your competitive coaches, you don't talk, you don't communicate. There were 3 group chats just yesterday during our call. McGee and Willard are always talking back and forth about football.
And just two of the good guys really in the area, not just football coaches, but guys who understand what goes beyond that on the field. But certainly 2 high-level competitors, 2 guys that understand what it takes to win at this level. And year in and year out, they show that their teams are amongst the top competitors, certainly within the area, but potentially also in the state.
Josh McGee's son, who's 8, is trick-or-treating tonight, so we hope that family's enjoying everything. Todd Willard's got a family of chickens at home, over 30 of them. We'll touch on that story later. There's 3rd and short. Back to Evans. Goes off left tackle and gets a first down. There's a good 3rd down run for Reagan.
And I like the call because it's a physical call. You're looking at your offensive line and saying, hey, we need 2 to 3 yards. We're going to need you to go get us 2 to 3 yards. Of course, get more than that, pick up the first down.
Crescent Ford first down, right of the game at an F-150 from Crescent Ford. When Reagan's good offensively, it's 10 yards a carry. So explosive in the run game. Last week against West, held below 100 yards of total offense, and that was just the first down for Reagan. They feed the beast in Evans. There's a great run, 9 easy yards, and that line was just shoveling bodies.
But see, it's so uncanny for a running back as a sophomore, a lot of the times, to be so patient. Follow his blocker, stay right behind them. Look at the hand right here. Goes right out in front of a blocker, continues to push him down the field, feel where he's going, and Evans makes that cut. Nice run on first down by the young blood.
Think of what Will Shipley did in this region, playing at Clemson, elite running back who had that vision and experience helping Weddington win a state title. If Evans can do more of this, trucking defenders, he dives right near the sticks. This gives Reagan a chance. 3rd down coming up.
Yeah, even here, again, you're still in 2nd and short. You run the football. Guess what? 3rd and short's coming. You better believe the Raiders are going to be prepped to run the football and establish the line of scrimmage.
Reagan, who made the 2nd round of the playoffs last year, this is a big 3rd down. They feed their stalwart 6 carries for Evans, and he moves the chains.
This is where, for East, you got to be careful because you're going to see run, and they can't lull you to sleep and go up over the top. So defensively, these backs have to make sure they are having their awareness on 100 and not allowing to get a football over their head.
That was very social media trendy of you, on 100.
100.
The explosive receiver is Elijah Davis, who also is a running back / receiver. They put him in a lot of spots. Reagan with its best field position on this drive, 1st and 10. Here's the play action. And a deep shot. And a lot of contact. Carson Bowman draws the flag. He knew it. Penalty on Zion Pleasant.
Oh, almost on cue, right? You would think we're in the coach's booth, but we're not.
Now, in high school, that's a 15-yard penalty, not a spot foul.
Right, and maybe it's the smart play. You feel like you're going to get burned, just hang on for dear life. No, you don't want to give up 15 yards, but give up that rather than a touchdown. Fighting down the field. Easy call.
Yeah, there was some hand fighting there, certainly.
Easy call that time. Pleasant, just a little too unpleasant down the field with Carson Bowman. Draws the flag. Great call by this officiating crew.
It's a secondary that graduates Nigel Gay, who's now at Catawba, great FCS program. And then Elijah Edwards, he's playing at Greensboro here locally. So a lot of guys have made it to the next level. This defense has been aggressive this year. 1st and 10. There's the aggressive pursuit. D-line coming in. Julian Gerald with the stop.
Works right off the right side of the offensive line, and speed kills in this one. Just gets around the edge, dip and rip to the outside, wins the battle in position, and is able to bring down Evans in the backfield. Not an easy task.
45th stop for Gerald. We talked so much about Hayes, the Carolina commit, but there are complementary edge rushers. Lucas Vandergrift is out for the season. He was excellent early in the year as a senior. Here's a blitz. Smith picks it up. Great throw to Davis. And Elijah dives forward to the 25. Great decision from the quarterback.
Yeah, RPO that time, fakes the run that time, pulls it out, fires it right into the belly of Davis sitting right in the slot. Excellent read, good throw. Nice play by Davis to get those yards after the catch.
Closing minute of this first quarter. East goes 65 yards in a pop. Now Reagan matriculating.
And how much different is it here? Potentially 2-down territory here if you get close to that first down.
East will have to snap this before the end of the quarter. Smith, high snap. Evans gets the block. Look at Evans stretch it outside. And he's in to the second level, now in the red zone.
Thinking pass the entire way, and Reagan sticks to their guns, gets it down. Great job by Smith to bring the high snap down, get it into the belly of Evans, and let him just run off the right side.
That snap was like one of those skee ball games you play at the state fair where the ball hits the side of the device.
And it's up there.
Flies up into the Cook Reynolds red zone.
Great composure by Smith to bring it down, though, not to let it affect the play.
Back to Evans. Breaks loose. There's Evans with a touchdown. 18th score for John Evans Jr. III. He is a power tailback. And he puts Reagan on the board.
All those bodies up along the line of scrimmage. This offensive line, hat on a hat. You pick up every single one. Evans watching patiently, breaks through, finds the hole, and strolls into the end zone for the first score of the night for the Reagan Raiders.
18-yard score for the 18th touchdown. I like when numbers match up like that. Run home with a triad touchdown. Property owners and tenants find a perfect fit. Couch puts it through. Nice response on that drive, going 70 yards in 11 plays.
See that great cut by the young back inside, takes it into the end zone. What a job by this offensive line, just running down the throat of East Forsyth. That
you don't see too many running backs jog into the end zone.
Right into there. But again, all those guys up along the line of scrimmage, no one is home once he gets past that first level. That is as Reagan of a drive as you will see throughout the course of the season. Just running it, and eventually it breaks through.
In a state where Tayshawn Martin may be the most statistical running back, right? 5,000 yards. Evans only a sophomore. I think in 1 or 2 years we'll be saying his name a ton.
Keep an eye on him. Keep an eye on him. He's one of those young backs. Again, only a sophomore. Just kind of has great size as well. For just a sophomore back, 210 pounds, you're kidding. But another back in this area that is full of fantastic running backs. Talked about Jalen Moore already. Moses Morris at West Forsyth. We saw him a couple weeks ago. I mean, there's quite a few stud backs. Rottweiler here on the other sideline.
A power running back, too. That's impressive at the high school level. Here's the kickoff from Couch. That is not returnable. So East will get a play here to end the first quarter. Ball comes out to the 20 at the high school level. And this is exactly what Jalen Moore did 2 years ago as a sophomore. 1,500 yards, double-digit touchdowns. Then Moore goes to High Point Christian, who's undefeated, by the way, one of the last undefeated teams left in the state.
I would love to think that he has a part in them being undefeated.
They'll compete for the independent state championships the next few weeks.
Complete sarcasm, by the way. We know he has a huge part in them being undefeated.
98%. Here comes a receiver in motion now. Catching the ball is Christian Cepeda. And Christian's got nice juice. There's 10 yards and a first down.
Big part of this offense, finding a complement to Richburg on the other side. Cepeda's done a really nice job throughout the course of the year, getting better and better for this offense and allowing them to grow.
And my apologies. They roll him short. Second and a yard or so, and that'll end the quarter. Through 12 minutes, though, back and forth football. East Forsyth in the passing game, Reagan on the ground, 7 apiece. Little Halloween treat tonight. You getting candy corn or Reese's Peanut Butter Cup? We'll find out after this break. Reagan and East in a fun battle through one. Here's tonight's winning row. Head to the ice skating rink at the fairgrounds that just opened. Visit winston-salemfairgrounds.com for dates and times. They get free tickets. They just don't know it yet, but they're pumped up.
Yeah.
It's a blackout night here at East. Halloween special. Todd Willard in his cowboy boots, pregame. Everybody was dressing up. He was so excited to put on those boots.
He was.
He had the AD, Plaster, come out there, get our picture. And a short gain to move the chains on second down.
He came up to the booth, saw all of us, including Hannah, dressed up, ready to go, and he thought we were messing with him when we told we were dressing up for the game today.
That's a tip-top roofing first down.
Todd Willard is a character.
He's also a great dad, 11-year-old, 7-year-old at home, 60 chicken farm, 10 ducks. We got some duck eggs as well.
Yes, we did.
So here comes Micah Fuller in motion, but some movement before the snap. And Todd said it's very stressful to be a high school football coach, right? Two-time state champ. But raising those ducks at home and the chickens are the best part of his week.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about how different that is from this, right? He goes out there, it's serene, relaxing. Got to find a way to deal with all the chaos of being a high school coach. A very successful one at that.
His father, Alan's been on staff for multiple years. 204 wins now for Todd. He's one of the winningest coaches in the region. And his quarterback, Jaden Fulp, facing second and long here. First and long. Fulp goes short. That's Rottweiler. Great tackle in open space. That's Seven Glover again.
Again, just a player who finds himself in the right place at the right time and makes the play almost every single time his number is called. Really nice job in space. The running back one-on-one against Rottweiler and brings him down.
There's no sixes against Seven.
No.
He's got 6-7 on lock.
No.
Just for you, buddy.
No.
Brody Franco in motion, the tight end. Oh, that's a high pass.
Oof.
And it's caught. Rylan Harrison, he actually ends up losing 2 yards.
Guess who?
Yeah, there's Seven Glover again. He's waving his hands up and down like the 6-7.
Oh, man. Again, right place at the right time. But it pays to be smart. And he knows where the play is going, recognizes it immediately. And look, he's beating that block. Downhill, right there on Cepeda. He is beating that block. And because he does, capitalizes on the breakdown on the play.
On a defense where Landon Callahan 2 years ago committed to Duke, right? It's that level of secondary talent here at Reagan. So Fulp rolls out. That's short of the sticks. Good tackle in open space. And then a late penalty. Well, if this is on Reagan, it might result in a first down, but let's see.
Some of the offensive linemen for East were kind of putting their hands on their heads, wondering if they had done something wrong.
Stevenson, one of the anchors at left tackle.
And where the flag is, it's almost kind of interesting. It may be in the area of an illegal man downfield, but it should be a pretty quick call, given the fact that they didn't pick the first down up as well.
Here's our lead official, Gary Overton. On the offense.
Wow.
So we have an angle of this.
So it's important to note they were both after the play. So the play stands. So you get down the field. Nice play in the open space. You get your man down. Jonathan Long comes down from that corner spot, makes the play, but it was after the play. Maybe there was just some activity off camera that we may have missed.
Yeah, at least it's neutralizing, so it does result in a fourth and long here. East Forsyth that'll run more punts than anybody in the Central Piedmont. Boots it away, good return, and great field position on the short kick. That's Carson Bowman bringing it back, 5 yards. Well, if you're Reagan, super efficient drive on the last score, 60 yards, double-digit plays. And now if you're Josh McGee, how do you continue to push the right buttons offensively?
Just continue to push the buttons you done on the last drive. Of course, you need to make your adjustments, but the mentality needs to stay the same. You're leaning on your gigantic high school level offensive line to get the job done, move bodies, and allow that man right there, number one in your backfield, and John Evans Jr. to go to work.
Harry Simpson, 275. Issa Evans, 290. The tackles both are playing at the next level. Here's Evans. He goes right up the middle and gets 3 on first down. And that pile just kept moving, but now a whistle comes in.
And Evans still standing right there at the 50-yard line as well.
And Reagan is starting to become an offensive line powerhouse when you think of Sam Pendleton at Notre Dame, Spencer Webb at A&T.
They start turning them out, and that has become certainly a focal point. But when you have offense like this, you have to have those linemen, those hogs up front to go to work.
Coach Donnie Bringer's doing things right. We noted Nick Tobacco is coming over from Wake Forest, helping out with the O-line team. This is power football for the Reagan Raiders. Evans gets it. He is just pushing and churning and turning and turns 1 yard into 6.
Let's see, even here in the second quarter, these are the drives that over the course of the game are going to wear down this defense. They're so committed to stopping the run, they can't.
He's picking up the D lineman who tackled him. Yep. That's when you know you got a running back.
And it's a defense that has a front that is not to be played with. Talk about Edwards, Heyman, Hayes up front. Those are guys, dudes along the defensive line. Solomon, Brown in the linebacking core.
And Hayes is going to play Power 4 football next year, 99. Right. That's a big boy.
This is their 6th third down.
Reagan, 3 of 5 on third downs tonight. Here's a 3rd and short. Bowman in motion. Evans, there's the 1. And Chosen Him brings him down after 2 yards. Look at Hayes, 44 tackles. He just looks like a defensive lineman at the next level.
And he looks bigger than what he's listed at. I mean, he's 6'1" on the roster, 300 pounds. I believe the 300. I think he's a little bit bigger than 6'1", though.
Everyone is generously listed on the Max Press website. It's all for interpretation. Tip-top roofing first down. Quick toss. Elijah Davis looks to stretch it. No gain. Great pursuit. That's Zion Pleasant, the senior safety.
Certainly one of the areas where this East defense thrives, and they have for years. The sideline to sideline speed on defense has never been an issue for East Forsyth, and that's certainly not an issue this year. They're so good when they can stretch those plays out to the sideline.
40th tackle for Pleasant. He flies everywhere. Him and Shaboyi are great safeties. Haven't said Dominic's name a ton tonight. Evans back in the game. 13 carries for Evans in this first half. He only touched it 8 times against West Forsyth in a 30-point blowout. Here's the timeout. We'll take the timeout. Reagan to discuss. Mounting a drive. 7 minutes to go in this first half. All tied up here on Halloween night. My 48. Welcome back to East Forsyth High School. Tonight's game is being streamed live on YouTube and Facebook. Tip Top Roofing helping us out tonight. Faith Family, football, and roofing. And if winter weather, it's important to have a good roof.
Sure is.
You see that mid-50s and rain this week? It was dumping.
Yeah, it was.
Monday, Tuesday, a little bit of Wednesday as well. Good for the grass.
Not this time of year.
Here's a play-action shot. Smith going deep. He's got one. And a no catch.
Oh, boy.
And then no pass interference. I don't know how that happened. Effective coverage from Zion Dobson.
Yeah, it looked like some good coverage down the field. That ball was put right on the dot and knocks it away. Dobson got that left hand in there, knocks that football away. Excellent job tracking in air. And a little bit on the right side there. You can't really have contact with the hand on the shoulder, but gets away with that one. Great play over the top to knock the football away down the field.
And that's a sophomore in coverage.
Yep.
Great pursuit. The ball-making ability of these young DBs, so fun to watch at this level. 3rd and 10 now for Reagan. Smith in a passing situation. Forced to move out, and he just chucks it out of bounds. No space for Jacob Smith.
It's a bit of a wasted opportunity that time because they bring Solomon Jr. on a blitz yet again, and he is stonewalled by Evans in the backfield. So you get your pass protection this time, and now it's the back end. Receivers can't get open. Great job defensively by this coverage unit of East Forsyth.
Reagan playing the field position game with Spencer Lindquist, the junior punter, who averages 38 yards a boot.
Had that one punt that already sailed inside the 10.
And no one's back for East. Lundquist looks for another pin. Oh, perfect bounce. And Reagan will let this die inside the 5. Well done to flip the field for a 41-yard punt.
Not too bad. High school punter coming out here, 2 inside the 10.
Well, there's no Connor Duns like we saw at North Davidson.
Oh, yeah.
That whole Dunn family might be building a plaque at North Davidson High School. Multiple college kickers and punters.
Not too bad, though.
But good work from Lindquist.
Sometimes it's those shorter fields that are a little more difficult because you can't just power your leg into it. Takes a little more finesse.
Good defense from Derek Bryant. You see him coaching him up on the sideline. And now Jaden Fulp working from his end zone. On the ground. Nice hole for McGee. And McGee gets the first. He's out near the 20. Big run from the end zone.
I think he may have lost track of where he was, though, because he gave up probably another 5 to 10 yards at the back end of that run. Not a solid white sideline. You see where he is right here. He keeps going.
Oh, yeah, he realized where he was.
Maybe.
You see the coaches put their hand on their face, yeah. There's a gain of 1 on first down for the tip-top roofing run. Tackled by King Kalama. 17.5 tackles for loss. This guy is everywhere defensively.
Not too bad. Knows how to work the hands. The technique is there, and obviously the size. Just a monster up front. 6'2", 260.
He grew up in the Congo, spent some time in the U.S. in middle school. What a great athlete. Speaks French. Just a great kid. Quick route to Richburg, and he's short of the sticks. Great team tackle. Started by Antonio Kelly, the junior DB.
A great job by Kelly on the edge that time. We've already seen what happens when Jai Richburg gets loose. Kelly hangs on that time, backs him up, and waits for help to get there as well. Nice play at the cornerback spot by Antonio Kelly Jr.
Fills the shoes of a college DB, Nick Hall, who's at the Division II level. 100 tackles last year for Nick at the corner spot. You look at these rosters. College players up and down East had 11 guys last year playing college. And here's Rottweiler. And Rottweiler has enough. They'll give him the first with 5.5 to go in the half.
It's been very different tonight, Evan, with the way that East has run the football. 3 weeks ago, we saw them. There was hesitation even from Rottweiler not getting down the field. Tonight, there is no doubt. He is running with conviction, getting a foot in the turf, and getting upfield in a hurry.
East leaning on Cannon Rottweiler. That was a fun 1-2 punch last year with Brandon Sutton coming in, the all-CPC running back. But it's been Rottweiler's show here in 2025. Here's Cepeda in motion. Christian gets the rock. And Cepeda gets spun down after a short gain. And for more on Rottweiler, here's Hannah Brady.
Yeah, guys, after the game against West Forsyth, Coach Willard got a text when he was out back feeding the animals from Cannon Rottweiler that said, "Coach, you need to call me right now." Rottweiler was frustrated because he didn't get a lot of touches in that game and told Coach Willard, "I can be that guy. Give me the ball, Coach. I can do it." Since then, the run game for East, it's just really come alive. And Coach Willard said sometimes coaching is also listening to your players and believing in them. And that's been the result when Cannon these past 3 games, guys.
Yeah, Willard was worried his player was going to transfer out of the program. Yeah. And it turned into a, hey, trust me, I can run the football a little bit here.
You get those texts, it's usually not a good thing, but it takes a lot for a player to tell you that at the high school level.
And Richburg is level. There's Kalama. We got a Pharaoh and a King in the house tonight.
And the King that time sets the edge very well. sits there patiently, sees that a couple times where they do those jet sweeps, and is ready for it this time. Look at him just setting the edge right time, taking on a double team and splitting it.
That's his 20th tackle for loss. Now he pressures Fulp. Jaden, who's a former wide receiver, gets half that yardage back. 3rd and short coming up. That's been the challenge for Fulp. He's a dual athlete. This is his first year as the true quarterback after Bryce Baker threw 75 touchdowns over his East career.
And where do you take advantage of that athleticism? Do you run? Do you pass? How do you handle that? See a little bit of confusion right now from East as well.
So Fulp subs in for Micah Fuller, who was back there. Play clock inside of 10. Fulp forced out and incomplete through the hands of his target. And now a decision here. Richburg couldn't squeeze it. Here comes the punt unit.
Tough play that time. Pressure forces Fulp out, and he has to lock in on one guy, that being Jai Richburg. Defensive help comes down over the top, forces a throw back to the inside, and it's a difficult catch for Richburg to make.
And if that throws more at his body, that's probably a reception.
But you're worried about the defensive back coming down and making that play as well. It's part of the pressure. Take him off schedule, and they have to improvise.
Here's Shaboyi, the lefty. That kick will go just over 30 yards. Reagan gets it with the football to end the half, but East gets the ball to start the second half. We'll take our final timeout of this second quarter. Defensive battle here in the Central Piedmont Conference. Don't go anywhere. Here on My 48. During the fourth quarter of tonight's game, we'll be highlighting the school bus stop of the game. NCHSAA helps us out with that. So the law in every state says drivers have to stop for a school bus when the stop arm's out. The red lights are flashing. NCHSAA, our proud sponsor of that. And at halftime of the Medical Minute, NCDHHS, they manage the delivery of health and human-related services for all North Carolinians. A lot going on at halftime here in the next 3.5 minutes. It's senior night here at East Forsyth. Both Reagan and East will make the 7A playoffs, but seeding is up for grabs. Who can get a home game in the playoffs? And Jacob Smith, the senior quarterback, goes to work, feeds Evans. Evans gets out of one tackle and drags 3 defenders for 3 yards. Just a sophomore, so intelligent with the ball.
Sure was. That time, though, he may have made a mistake because it seemed like early on he could have cut up field towards the middle of that defense. It was all washed away to the left side. He could cut off of there and maybe gotten a couple more yards than what he did.
Evans, the leading runner of 7A football. No one at this division has done a better job. Yards per game, touchdowns. And Coach Josh McGee said in 15 years of coaching, he's could be the best running back we've had, and he's only 2 years in. So 2nd and 6. They go right back to Evans, and he's right at the sticks. There's a first down. How do you manage the clock now if you're Reagan in this final drive?
Well, they have to move with some tempo right now. Only have one timeout left in their pocket, so they've got to be able to move a little bit here. If they keep pulling off runs like that, helps them out a ton, but you've got to have some tempo here and get it moving down the field.
Remember, Reagan was shut out last week after scoring 51 against Parkland. It's been a little up and down offensively here in late October.
Shows you just how good that West Forsyth team is.
They're top 15 in the state, West Forsyth, and have won the Central Piedmont.
Beat both of these teams that are on this field here tonight.
An overtime win against East. We had that on My 48. Play action. Smith's got a cannon. He fires for Bowman. What a snag. Carson Bowman to the 20.
Well, there's the big play they needed. Get back into plus territory, 2 minutes left, and now you can work your offense as you have been with that one timeout. Jacob Smith goes back there, sits back, fires that one down the field, puts a little bit of mustard on it, and gets it into the hands of Bowman down the field.
47 yards to Bowman. Longest passing play of the day for Reagan. They go back to Evans. And he churns an easy 7 up the middle.
Those are the plays where Jacob Smith shines. It's not necessarily that short, quick passing game, but when he has time to load up and take those shots down the field, he's pretty accurate with the football.
Smith is a commit for the baseball and the football program, and he's a great pitcher. He's got a tremendous arm. Here's 2nd and 3. And some movement.
Bowman right at the top of the screen.
It's a fun week for Reagan Athletics, of course, on TV tonight. The volleyball program goes for a state title tomorrow at NC State.
Think Jacob Smith might be out there to visit his future alma mater?
I think he should. I know his baseball coach, Elliot Avent, would be excited to see him on campus.
There you go.
Wolfpack in their Fall World Series this weekend. Speaking of World Series, just got started tonight. A little Shohei action.
Your Dodgers trying to find a way to force a Game 7, huh?
They usurped your Phillies.
I don't want to hear it.
You got married this month. We're on good terms, aren't we? We're back on the same team.
Oh man.
Clock moving after this penalty, so we're nearing the final minute. Smith feeds Evans. Evans gets a blocker. Evans to the corner. Touchdown, Reagan. Second score for Evans. He goes in from 18. And the Heisman pose for the sophomore.
Okay. That was easy, though. Don't just give the Heisman pose there. Give it to your guys up front. Boy, oh boy, did they do a job. The left side between Issa Evans just sealing down the edge. There's no one else there. And just like he did on his first touchdown scamper, John Evans says, trick or treat. I'll take the treat all night long.
I'll take the extra large Snicker bar. We're not getting the little bite-sized candy. We're going for the hunkers. And that drive, 77 yards in 5 plays. Very explosive.
Get the deep play on the play before. Deep shot down the field, and then it's capitalizing off of that. Running off the left side of the offensive line for a second touchdown of the night.
And it was a quick drive, just in 2 minutes. Josh McGee noted all week, our offense has it in us, but we haven't been able to consistently string together drives. These last 2 have been fun to watch.
Yeah, they sure have. The first one was a Reagan drive through and through, just hammering the rock down the throat of that East defense, finishing off with a touchdown run. This time, using the explosive play, get the pass down the middle of the field to Carson Bowman, and then finishing off in the very next play with a touchdown run. Second of the night for John Evans Jr.
A Reagan team that has, I'd say, 4 signature wins.
Yeah.
Beat Oak Grove, shut out Reedsville, who's top 25 in the state, and then went to Lake Norman and got a nice win. Those are all playoff teams at multiple levels.
And don't think for a second that everyone that has those votes as far as seeding is concerned doesn't pay attention to what a schedule like that looks like, especially when you come out with W's.
A resume with the emphasis on the second E,
yes,
if we're saying it right, has Reagan as a 5 seed in 7A coming up. Now, the brackets will be revealed on Sunday. RPI is a large percentage of that. A win tonight would guarantee a bye for Reagan.
Yeah.
The top 8 teams in the east and the west side of the state get a bye on the road to either Lenoir-Rhyne, Chapel Hill, or Durham, and we'll find that out in the next couple of weeks. Here's Jaden Fulp after giving up the touchdown. He wants a deep shot, and Cepeda brings it in. Nice hands out past the 40.
How about that pass down the field, working the sideline a little bit. Gets it out there, puts it right into the hands of Cepeda over that outside shoulder.
There
Great
it is.
Catch. Just enough keeps that toe in bounds.
23-yard pitch and catch. Fulp's on the move. He's taking his time. There's the speed of Fulp. And he turns that into 2 yards with 55 seconds. These are the drives we're accustomed to watching Bryce Baker orchestrate late in the half, late in the game.
Smart plays, using that athleticism, get out on the edge. Bryce Baker was not as much a runner as Fulp is. However, he knew when to run and when to make those plays. That's where Fulp has to continue to get better.
Baker had 6,000 career yards at East, maybe the best to do it for this program. And I say that with multiple state champions playing quarterback here at East as well. Great pursuit. And there's Kalama. East not electing to use a timeout. And that clock's starting to tick here.
Yeah, a little bit.
And there's 3 to work with. Facing third down. I'm a little surprised here with the lack of timeout.
And I'm surprised there's not more tempo with it right now. They're just letting it run down.
Now inside of 30 seconds.
Oh, this is perplexing. I don't understand why they're not using a timeout.
Play clock's inside of 10.
Holy cow.
So East has to snap it, and it's a simple run that goes nowhere. Now it's fourth down, and some confusion from the East sideline.
I got to tell you, Evan, I don't understand that one bit. 3 timeouts to work with. You had over 50 seconds left to go, and you let all of that go away. At midfield almost.
You see the frustration from East as we go to halftime. 14-7 here at the break. And Hannah's going to get some thoughts from the coaches here in a moment. Yeah, Mark, the end of that half a little bit confusing here in terms of timing.
Yeah, again, it's perfect, right? You have just under a minute left. You have the 3 timeouts. You're at midfield. That is an eternity in this situation to just run plays. You got the guys on the outside to move the football, and you just watch it wither away. I do not understand.
Reagan efficient on the ground, 105 yards rushing. And our reindeer found Josh McGee. Here's Hannah Brady.
Coach John Evans Jr. getting the run early on in this first half. What have you liked from him and his ability to command the offense?
Yeah, I think we've controlled the line of scrimmage, which is, what we didn't do last week very well. But we're running the ball well, which opens up your passing game a little bit. We're playing great defense. We're playing complementary football in all 3 phases, and that's what you have to do to give yourself a chance.
Defensively, how do you continue to be more physical?
Yeah, we're doing that. We just got to keep it up. And, they've hit some big plays. They've got great players. But this comes down to fundamentals, and keep doing those. Again, we got a chance.
Thanks for the time, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, coming up next, we have the My 48 halftime report. So be sure to stay right here on My 48 Sports. Coming up next.
Throughout the 2025 Carolina Classic Fair Friday Night Rival season, Tatum and Atkinson Law Firm will recognize an exceptional senior student athlete from each of the participating schools with a plaque presentation prior to each game. This week's Tatum and Atkinson Scholar athletes are from East Forsyth High School. East Forsyth's Cannon Rottweiler is a 2-year varsity starter and leading rusher for the Eagles. Back-to-back years, he currently holds a 4.273 weighted GPA and has maintained above a 4.0 GPA while being a student athlete and working part-time. In Cannon's spare time, he gives back to his community by volunteering to read to elementary school students on Fridays. From Reagan High School, Reagan's Sophia Tabaka has been a member of the varsity girls tennis team all 4 years and is team co-captain this season. She currently holds a 4.587 weighted GPA and is on the science and math academic team. Sophia is a National Honor Society member, an AP scholar, and in the top 5% of her graduating class. Sophia involves herself in the community by volunteering at Winston-Salem Open and at St. Leo's as an assistant teacher. Cannon, Sophia, and other nominated students are also eligible to win a $5,000 scholarship to be presented at the end of the season. Congratulations to our Tatum and Atkinson Scholar Athletes of the Week.
You're watching the My 48 Halftime Reports, My 48 Sports, your home for local sports. I'm Hannah Brady, now joined alongside the principal for East Forsyth High School, Rusty Hall. Rusty, it's always so fun having you on the Halftime Report. Thanks for being here.
Glad to. I'm glad to have y'all here. This makes it so much fun. Our kids are excited and everything.
Well, we saw some major construction as we came in on campus today. Just what is happening and what does the future of East Forsyth look like?
Yeah, we're excited. So we were built in the 60s, and many of our buildings were the same. So we're kind of the last project on the 2016 bond referendum, and so they're completely gutting and remodeling each classroom. Got a beautiful addition to our cafeteria. So love to bring East Forsyth High School up to what it is on the inside and reflect that on the outside as well.
In addition to that, what have been some of the successes this school year?
It's been a success. You know, our county's had a difficult year, but our family here on campus has come together. Our students have been amazing, our community, and I want to take the opportunity to thank our community. Any need we have, we put it on social media, and it's amazing how quickly our office turns into an Amazon warehouse with all the work and our families are doing. It's great.
What are some of your hopes for the end of this fall school semester and football season?
Yes, that we continue to improve. We knew we had some young team and have seen them continue to grow week in and week out. And so, you know, now it's about exposing them to playoff football and an opportunity to take on that challenge and continue to grow and get better. And that's what it's about, you know, setting us up for future years here at East Forsyth.
Well, certainly a great environment, great atmosphere. Rusty, thank you so much for taking a few moments.
Thank y'all for being here. We love the support.
Well, coming up next, we have a whole lot more in store for you here on the My 48 Halftime Report. We'll be talking to the assistant principal for Reagan High School. Stay with us.
Blue Regiment. Student leadership includes Claudia Burke.
6 years. Whoa.
Welcome back to the My 48 halftime report, and happy Halloween. I'm Hannah Brady, joined alongside the assistant principal for Reagan High School, Maurice Jackson. Maurice, thank you so much for taking a few moments.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You may now
So what
take the
makes
field.
Reagan such a special place to learn and work?
Well, it's the people. I tell you, with the students, the community, the parents, as well as the teachers. It's just a special place to work. It's a utopia of life.
And then how is Reagan just so successful each and every year?
Our success comes from us taking care of the little things, paying attention to detail, and making sure that the little things, we always like to say that everybody's problem is not Reagan's problem, and Reagan's problem is not everybody else's problem, but we try and solve our problems.
Now, good game happening here. We're going into the second half. What do you think this team needs to do in order to pull out a win?
Well, we need to keep running the ball. We're doing a great job running the ball, but we also need to keep the defense off the field as much as possible. They're doing a good job at holding this East Forsyth offense to limited scores and limited opportunities. So as long as we continue to run the ball and make good plays on defense, I think we'll be successful.
There you go. Keys to the game right there from Maurice Jackson. Thank you so much for taking a few moments, Maurice.
Thank you very much.
Well, we're at halftime right here at Friday Night Rivals, but let's take a look at some of the other games across the country.
The best Thursday night lights and Friday night rivals highlights from across the country.
He's going to heave it deep right down the middle of the field and going up to get the football. Did he come down with the football?
Yes,
he did.
sir.
What a catch right there from Colleen Taylor.
Allen Moore with pressure on the backside and swoop. That ball's on the ground and picked up. This is going to be a scoop and score. Jaden Millhouse to the house. Outlaw Casa.
Downfield, intercepted. It's going to be picked off by Holmes. Here he comes to the near side, and Holmes trying to pick up blocks. Cuts it back the other way. Holmes still on his feet. Holmes, will it be a pick six? Yes, it will.
Fade to the
No
end
way.
zone, trying to make the one-handed catch. Tremendous effort over there by Isaiah Ivy. Call it a touchdown.
That was
4th and 10, chased out of the pocket, launches it down the field, and it is caught! It's a touchdown!
Oh my goodness.
What? Lane Malachik.
Playmaking ability from Court.
Beachy to the end zone. Touchdown!
Oh my
The final play of the game. What a moment.
Got your way. QB sneak wins the game. That's a fitting end of the season, don't you think?
All of the emotions.
The North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services is proud to present you with this Medical Minute.
When people put their feet under a table with friends, family, co-workers, it means more than just consuming food. And that was kind of the driving factor that we had as a group, getting the restaurant back open. That meant to the community a lot of normalcy.
Our restaurants in particular, we went to every single one of them personally and talked to them, handed out brochures, and it was neighbor helping neighbor, and I'm so proud to work in this little small county where everybody helps everybody.
This Medical Minute is brought to you by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services.
Welcome back to East Forsyth High School. We got bananas in the stands. We got students dressed up all over the place for Halloween. So from medical minutes to hot dogs. They are healthy, trust me. Mark Covert, Evan Budrovich, great running football game. You just look delicious tonight. I don't know what it is about the outfit, but I'm all about it.
That could go a lot of different ways, but it has been a great football game so far tonight. Highly competitive, but it's been what we thought it would be. It was two teams running the football effectively and finding different ways to dominate offensively. Really, in the second half, though, it's going to be about which team is going to relish the opportunity and find a way to pull out a win here in the last week of the regular season.
That was clever, wasn't it? So here are the numbers from the first half. The running game of Reagan, very impressive. And these programs have both struggled with penalties this year, but a clean first half.
Yeah, a surprisingly clean first half. Usually, again, East Forsyth is one of those teams, year in and year out, just always has this knack for drawing penalties. But so far tonight, pretty clean overall, only two for each side in the first half. And again, running the football has been so prominent. Those last two drives for Reagan, the explosive passing play sets up the second touchdown run of the night for John Evans Jr.
Here are those highlights early on. Great rivalry here in the Central Piedmont Conference. And Jai Richburg takes this 65 yards.
It opens up the scoring. Great recognition. Everything's closed up on that side of the field. No backside contained. Richburg reverses field. And from there, the straight line speed draws first blood in this matchup.
That was Richburg's 10th score of the year. And that penalty sets up the first scoring drive for Reagan.
It sure did, and Reagan did a really nice job capitalizing, finishing the drive with the first touchdown run, waltzing into the end zone was John Evans Jr. Just ran it down into the heart of that East Forsyth defense on that drive. And another explosive play later on in the half seals in another Evans touchdown run, his second of the night, the second of the night for the Raiders as well. And brings us to our final frame, 14-7 in the first half.
How about ranked matchups all over the place here on ABC? Yeah, play the theme music. Boom, 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 boom. Florida, who's searching for a head coach. Georgia comes into town.
Vanderbilt. At what point do you stop doubting the Commodores at this point? On the road against Texas, back in the top 25. Does anyone really think, though, that Texas is going to stand a chance in this game? Who thought that at the beginning of this college football season?
It's a wild SEC slate. If you have YouTube TV, good luck to you this weekend because there's been some discussions going on. But
we pray for you.
ABC and the ESPN app, Cardinals, Cowboys as well. Monday Night Football, Dak Prescott. He's been slinging the rock pretty well.
Yeah,
John Cole, our statistician, he's a big Cowboy fan.
Sure is.
He's shaking his boots thinking about the Cowboys on primetime.
The question is, Kyler Murray may potentially be coming back for the Cardinals. Does he sling it against a Dallas defense that has looked good in recent weeks, or at least better than it has? But are they still that Swiss Army, or Swiss cheese, really, just holes everywhere?
Swiss cheese, Swiss Army. I got my Pharaoh belt ready to rock and roll here. You know what's really good? There's delicious chili that was served tonight at East Forsyth. I ate it all because it was that good.
The chili cheese dog.
We could just pour some on your shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, when we come back, we'll talk some football and get interviews with the coaches as Hannah freezes on the sideline. Thanks for joining us here on My 48. Hannah's doing great. We're all having fun. It's a chilly night here at East Forsyth. Or we won't go to break. We'll just...
Hannah, condolences. That was inappropriate, and I apologize for my cohort here up in the booth. That being said, we realize that does not make you any warmer down there. So.
Well, Mark, you had a busy week last week.
Not too bad, right?
You weren't doing high school football with us.
I sure wasn't. Can only imagine why.
You were getting married.
I sure was.
Wow, look at that ornate flower display in the background.
Yeah.
Was that your choice?
No.
Hey, an honest man knows their strengths and weaknesses.
No, I could not say enough.
Wow, the staged photos.
Could not say enough.
Look at that owl tattoo she's got.
Yeah, kills it, right? Looks great in the background. Our wedding party alongside us, just a perfect afternoon. Absolutely perfect afternoon. Wouldn't have had it any other way.
Well, from great photos to great interviews, we're going to go down to Hannah here real quick.
Coach, a little confusion there going into the half. What went on there?
There's a lot of confusion going on there. You know, just we're missing a couple assignments. They've ripped off a couple big runs, and once again, offensively, we just got to make plays. We haven't been doing it all year, and we just got to find a way, make some explosive plays.
I mean, some explosive plays. Jai Richford with a 65-yard run. How do you continue to get the run game more involved here?
Yeah, I mean, we're doing pretty good I think we went away from it a little bit. We need to be able to push the ball downfield a little bit more in our passing game, though, too.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
Back to you guys.
That's a coach who's ready to make some adjustments in the second half.
Yeah.
When we come back, we'll get you some football on tap here. East Forsyth Reagan, 18th all-time meeting and a tight one here at halftime. Thanks for watching here our My 48 game of the week, Winston-Salem Fairgrounds. We have a live stream tonight on YouTube and Facebook. Tip Top Roofing doing their best part to help out tonight. We got a lot to talk about tonight, Mark. One-score game, playoff positioning, so important. And if you're Reagan, you're playing for a first-round bye. East can do the same with a win.
100%.
And some help.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good possibility right now. Projected standings looking the way that they are. The loser of this game more than likely is going to have to play next week. The winner just take a week off, and so important. Having that week off, the first round bye, you get healthy, you get to rest up 1 week, and allow yourself to work on your craft before you really dive into playoff football. So huge in here and certainly in other parts of the state as well.
There's Josh McGee, whose program was decimated by injuries a year ago, still made it to the first round of the playoffs. His offensive line, great in the run game. They've struggled in the pass game tonight. And look at that beard from our line judge. Now that's a beard.
God, that's a beard, man. That's a beard.
That beard's got children.
Do you see that thing? It's got nice edging to it, really crisp.
I want to know what his day job is.
Right, yeah.
Clearly he spends some time working on that beard.
Not very often do we get the refs on camera for something other than a flag. So good for him.
Thankfully, just 4 penalties in this first half. In this 7A level, Grimsley is the favorite, best team in the state, maybe one of the best teams in the country.
Yep.
We saw them last week against Dudley. Right now, Reagan and East would both be high seeds. But it all really comes down to this game of who would get that top 8 protected seed. East and Reagan both are projected to have a bye, but that'll depend on RPI and some things like that.
Sure will. Depending on where you look, East is really flirting with that line. Reagan a little higher right now.
And at 6-4, if you're East, you lose today. That's a lot tougher conversation to get a top 8.
Correct, and I really don't know how much of a conversation there really is to be had at that point.
Now your 4 losses are to 4 playoff teams, but at the same time,
they're 4 losses.
Wins and losses still matter. Here's the kickoff. Dobson from his 1. Dobson cuts it back. 7 Glover in pursuit, and 7 body slams him around the 25.
Imagine that.
A lot of juice for 7 Glover.
It's nice plays along the edge. Good return as well, though, so give yourself a chance. Take that football right at the 1. Pretty deep territory, especially for the high school game. Dobson does a good job running that football back and getting it into a good position.
Last Reagan win over East, 2021. This East offense has been prolific the last 3 years under Bryce Baker. This year just lacking the explosive play in the eyes of Todd Willard. Jaden Fulp to start the half, feeds Rottweiler. He slips out of 1 and then gets back to the line of scrimmage. And the run game held in check, Mark. It's almost 20 carries for 60 yards, not doing a ton.
Well, and there's a team that has recommitted itself to running the football more. When we saw them a couple weeks ago against West Forsyth, you do not see a whole lot of what Cannon Rottweiler can do at the running back spot. Now, part of that is just game flow, but they just weren't running the football. Since that game, he makes that phone call to Coach Willard. It's been a recommitment to running the football, and it's served them well.
Here's a blitz, and Rottweiler caught that behind the line of scrimmage. Cannon weaves through 1. He's got the first, but a flag comes in. This might negate the 10-yard gain.
It certainly seems like it's in the area of a hold. Swing pass along the edge.
Gary Overton leading our crew tonight.
But that.
I don't know if someone's hurt. There's kind of like too many huddles going on right now. Now an official's timeout.
Kind of odd.
While we have a moment, how does Reagan and East Forsyth be a team that could maybe upset Weddington or Grimsley in this loaded 7A bracket?
Well, it's going to take, if we're being completely honest, probably a near-perfect game of football, and it has to be done your way. Reagan specifically running the football and playing exceptional defense along the line of scrimmage, using the size that they have in the trenches, bigger than most anyone else in the state. It's just, do they have the technique to go in there, play that perfect game, and get out while running the football and playing that kind of old-school style of offense, complementary football offensively, and smash-mouth defensive football. East Forsyth, kind of the same pattern, but it's going to take more explosive plays. We know they're capable. They have the playmakers to do it. But can they generate those explosive plays on a regular enough basis to offset what those higher-ranked teams in Grimsley and Weddington want to do?
They're 2nd and 17 after the penalty. A slow end of the first half for East offensively. They left 30 seconds on the clock in midfield. Now Fulp faces a blitz, and he fumbles it. Turnover, scoop and score, 7 Glover. This man's been everywhere the last 3 years, and Glover's all over it.
Right place at the right time. He is everywhere he needs to be when he needs to be there. A smart player gets out on the edge. See him right there in the middle of your screen, spying. Great job by the rush, getting there, forcing the fumble. Trevor Willard puts the ball on the ground, or gets the ball on the ground out of the hands of Fulp. And Seven Glover makes yet another play, this time for 6.
Third defensive touchdown this year for Reagan. This defense, going into last week, was one of the best in the state. Fewest points allowed. And the extra point good on the run home of a triad touchdown. So how about Seven Glover putting a name on his back, the junior, with this huge scoop and score.
Opportunistic football. You create the turnover, you pick it up, you scoop, you score in time for 6. And Reagan takes control of this one in the third.
Coming up in the fourth quarter, Carolina Classic Fair player of the game. The Carolina Classic Fair, 10 days of awesome. We might have a sneak peek there at 7 Glover. Also in the fourth quarter, Caring Hands play of the game. Caring Hands, put your loved one in our caring hands. And of the Norris Automotive drive of the game, foreign and domestic repair in Mebane and Burlington. Good time to get your tires inflated with the temperatures dropping.
Yep.
Don't forget to do that.
I need to do that.
And kickoff, well booted away from this Reagan special teams unit. East Forsyth just fumbled, gave up an 18-yard scoop and score.
And now is the time for one of those explosive plays to maybe make an appearance yet again. Had one in the first half, 65-yard touch pass to Jai Richburg. And now they need another one here. Find a way to get back in this game, not just from a scoreboard standpoint, but from an emotional standpoint. Things are a little dead here at home. The nest is quieter than maybe we've ever heard it at this point in a football game.
East has won 9 or more games the last 5 years. It's a program riddled with tradition. Fourth round of the playoffs last year. Here's Fulp feeding Rottweiler. And this defense is aggressive. There's Lakota Fisher, the senior linebacker. We talk so much about Leo Hausel-Rajacic, but Fisher's an excellent player.
Does a really good job of playing complementary to what Rajacic loves to do. 15 tackles against Oak Grove earlier this year, 8 tackles last week in Rajacic's absence, and just a guy who brings energy. Really nice guy off the edge of that time, makes a great play, good complementary football at the linebacker spot.
This D-line is getting after it now. Richburg breaks loose, and Jai Richburg drags a couple of defenders. Third and about 5 coming up. That's Jai's 7th catch.
Really nice job, though, getting yourself into manageable territory here on third down. Quick, easy screen pass to the outside. Doesn't break for a big gain, but now you open up your playbook a little bit more because you're at third and medium as opposed to third and long.
Richburg, the NC State commit. He's been a heavy receiver. 7 of the 13 passes for Richburg.
Rightfully so. They just have not been able to connect with him down the field. Again, that 65-yarder was on a touch pass jet sweep.
That play clock's down to 7 seconds. Franco's looking for the play. Clock to 2. And a toss. Rottweiler breaks the tackle. There's Rottweiler out to the 40. A late call, but a good one. Gains 15.
Couldn't tell if it was a speed option, true and true, or just kind of a pitch out to the outside. Either way, it works. You get Rottweiler on the edge, good blocking along the perimeter, and gets a first down and then some from Rottweiler with the broken tackle.
Nearing 1,000 yards. Here's a fumble. Whoa, bad snap. Mason Turner shot that a bit high for Fulp.
It's interesting because Mason Turner has come in there, and I don't know that I put that one on him. It looked
that's
like
a decent snap.
Yeah, Fulp has got to hang on to that football. It's right there at his head. But it's been interesting, Evan. Mason Turner moves over from the guard spot to center, and all of a sudden, those running issues they were having, they're better. You can start to run the football more effectively. So moving around those offensive linemen into new configurations has helped them a ton.
It was a game of chess, reorganizing the offensive line last week. Fulp goes deep. Richburg almost picked. Great coverage from Antonio Kelly. But if that ball's thrown towards the sideline, Richburg might score.
Yeah, absolutely. It was right there with him. Has a clear size advantage over really any of the DBs on this defense and anyone you're going to put on him around the state. And as they go up and get it kind of ball, but you're right, Evan. It gets thrown to the outside. It's almost like it gets taken away for a second by Richburg, too.
3rd and long. Fulp scrambling. Fulp just keeps running, and Glover forces him out. 4th and long coming up. There's 7 Glover again.
So now here, what do? Looks like they're going to punt it away.
Glover with 8 tackles, a fumble recovery, 3 stops for a loss, and it's still the 3rd quarter.
I still think this is the right decision as well, just to punt this football away. Sometimes Willard will get a little more aggressive, but 4th and almost 14 yards to go. You can't risk it with this field position, only down 2 scores.
Here's Chaboyi. East is not an elite punting team, but that ball takes a nice bounce inside the 30. And it flips the field 30 yards. Now, this is a style of game that Reagan can play. They lean on you. They push on you. When you get a lead, it's a tough team to overcome.
And they are certainly asserting themselves from the physicality standpoint. There's a clear edge to that Reagan sideline through this point in the game. And as that has worn on, they have continued to get more and more of an edge there right now. And is led the charge by that man, John Evans Jr. Almost 100 yards in the first half, those 2 touchdowns. He was the bell cow we expect him to be.
Evans 2 weeks ago, 275 yards and 4 touchdowns. He gets the ball here, and O'Marion Hayes is all over that one, combined with, 7 other players? No gain on first down.
I think from what we've seen here through the first half, I'm putting the football into the hands of Jacob Smith if I am East Forsyth. I am committing everything I've got to stopping Evans on the ground and putting the game in number 5's hands.
A short gain for Evans, but he's averaging 6 yards a carry.
You've got to make this Reagan offense challenge at some point.
The counter run. Oh, nice pursuit from Isaiah Edwards, the captain. He's all over it. Moving Edwards from the interior to the outside edge has opened up these rush lanes for East Forsyth.
Get him outside, use that length. Heyman goes inside. It's been a nice change up to the rotation along that defensive front. Now how much pressure they bring. 3rd and long, calling card here. East Forsyth loves to bring pressure.
Reagan 4 for 7 on 3rd down. They've been clutch. Smith steps up. Smith's got legs. Smith breaks one into East territory. And the East defense thought there'd be a false start. Instead, it's a 20-yard run.
And certainly may have gotten away with one along the right side of that formation. But that all being said, no flag is thrown. Late pressure comes from the Eagles defensively. Smith recognizes it, steps up, and gets outside. Nice play. Again, make the play when your number is called. Really nice job by the senior quarterback to make one there.
Officially 23 for the two-sport athlete going to NC State next year. A rare running play for Smith. He's been held in the pocket most of the year. Evans just keeps pushing that pile.
I think it's also important to note the willingness to run, though, from Jacob Smith. In a play like that, you know you're coming off that ACL injury. A lot of guys are more hesitant, and at the beginning of the year, he may have been. You don't want to take that contact, in the back of your mind, continue to hear that injury nagging. Years gone on, you become more willing to go against it.
Well, Smith hasn't had the big numbers of his sophomore campaign. Very efficient here as a senior. He faces a 2nd and 7 after a nice run for 23 yards. Here's Evans. And Evans just keeps pushing that pile. Here's Hannah Brady with more.
Yeah, Evan quarterback Jacob Smith playing like he is just grateful to be out here tonight. After he tore his ACL last season, he said that getting hurt helped him grow mentally on the field, because when you can't play, you focus on the coverages and the coaching side of the game. Coach McGee said he attacked his recovery process 2 days a week for 4 to 5 months, and he could tell his mindset was just different, that he was determined to get back. A team will go as far as their leaders take it, and guys, Smith playing every snap like it's his last tonight.
And he's found ways, Mark, to make the smart play. It's not always the explosive play. He had the one pass for 47, but he's been great on third down. Now 3rd and 1. Well, there's the formula. Feed Evans, and there's the first. He just keeps churning. And there's 5 yards on third down.
Formula's 3rd and 1, and that's the important part, those third and short situations. But you're absolutely right. It's been the ability, not just through tonight, but really tonight's almost been a microcosm the entire year for what Jacob Smith has had to do. It hasn't had to be the gaudy quarterback play, throwing frozen ropes all over the field, all the touchdowns. It's playing complementary football and doing what you are asked to do within this offense, and he's done it really well all year long.
Seven-play drive for Reagan. They are churning the running of the football. And Kelly slips through a couple tackles, gets 5 easy yards.
Just run and run and run and run. This is Reagan football. This is what they want to do. This is what they love to do.
Held to 67 yards rushing against West last week. Their season low.
But they were so far down in that game so quickly that they had to get away from doing that.
Yeah, this week it's been 6 yards a carry, very efficient. Staying ahead.
Josh McGee and that staff were challenging this team all week long. How are you going to respond after getting punched in the mouth like they did last week? And so far, it's been a resounding answer.
Here's Davis. There's a nice hole. Davis just keeps going. The scat back gets 10 yards and a first.
Start to unlock that part of the offense as well. Evans is so good, but if you can start to get it so that Davis comes in there, it relieves him. It can do things like this. Follow behind an offensive line that is blocking their tails off right now. Boy, oh boy.
2 college prospects on this line with Evans and Simpson. And then 3 underclassmen in the middle who have really come together here in league play. Last 3 games, 40-plus points as they enter the Cook Reynolds red zone. Evans again. Cuts it back. Another productive. I mean, these 5-6 yard gains are just brutal for the defense.
And these were the gains in the first half that were going for 2 or 3 yards. Now they're starting to open up a little bit more because the defense is getting tired. This offensive line is taking control. They have a good feel for the game right now. Play calling is crisp. They are not doing too much, just handling their business, going down the field. And it's been 5 to 6 yards a clip on this drive.
Facing an East defense that have been the strength of this team in 2025.
They've already run off 5 minutes on the clock on this drive alone.
Evans comes back in at tailback here on 2nd and 6. Evans gets it. And that time, Isaiah Edwards drags him. No gain.
Big play for that defensive line to get something there so that backs up this Reagan offense a little bit. Now 3rd and 5. More likelihood the football stays in Smith's hands instead of him handing it off to Evans. I wonder if you'll see a rollout here. Seen it a couple times on 3rd down to get him outside the pocket and away from that pressure.
All game long, Jacob Smith making great decisions on 3rd down. 2 straight touchdown drives for the Reagan Raiders, who want to clinch a bye in the 7A playoffs. Play action. Smith goes end zone, in the hands and out of Josiah Patterson. So a decision here for Reagan, up 2 scores.
Seemed like that ball was put right on Patterson, too, just to that outside shoulder, exactly where you want it to be.
And that's about as perfect as it gets.
Yeah, alligator arms. For a fade ball to be thrown with that much zip, you got to get it to the outside shoulder. Smith does. Patterson's got to squeeze that football, look it in, and make that catch.
Here comes the field goal unit for Reagan. Connor Stone, the senior kicker. Here's the 29-yarder for Stone. And it's blocked. That's live. And East with a huge special team stop. Marion Hayes in this D-line breaks down this play.
Get your hands up, throw them up there, get it up into the air, and bring that football back down. Great special teams play, and Chaboy comes down with it.
Huge stop for East's defense.
How huge is that block?
Rottweiler. Nice run. How's the on the tackle?
Think about that. No points get on the board. A drive that takes over 6 to 7 minutes. No pun intended, of course, there. Evan already made that joke.
Yeah, you did.
But that being said, no points get on the board. What a job special teams-wise and defensively to stop that drive, and the special teams comes up with a huge block at the end. This point in the ball game, ticking down into the waning seconds of the third quarter. You're already down 2 scores. You had to make a play.
Rottweiler cuts it outside, and he gets the first down that time. But if you're East, it's these long drives that are so hard to manufacture.
And not just hard to manufacture, but they need to find that explosiveness. All year long, times that we have talked to Todd Willer, is one thing he's consistently brought up is making sure we find ways to be more explosive, and they just have not been able to capture that.
By the way, our friends at High Point Christian Academy, they have completed the undefeated season. 56-0 win over Covenant Day tonight. Out to Richburg. And Jai Richburg with a flag late. We'll get 13, but that's coming back.
And that holding certainly appears to be within the area of that along the edge.
Yeah, that drive was 6 minutes, 24 seconds, but no points. Because a 3-score game might put this out of reach, but keeping it 14.
Correct.
Congrats to our friends at Central Davidson, winning the Mid-Piedmont Conference, 9-1 this year.
How about that?
5-0 in the Pac-7.
Old school option football ruling the day. And look at some of the scores, too, that they've had. My
yeah, 29-0, 69-0, 32-0, 41-6. That's how you roll through a league. Oh, no. Quarterback elect to go and just chucks it. And that ends the third quarter. Some confusion here for East. And we'll go to the fourth quarter. East Forsyth searching for answers here in Kernersville. It's all Reagan so far. Final 12 minutes of the regular season when we come back. Stay tuned tonight. We'll highlight the school bus stop of the game presented by NHTSAA. It's a law. Every state requires drivers to always stop for that school bus when the stop arm's out. Here in the fourth quarter, Reagan's defense wants to put away this game, up 2 scores. East had some confusion on the final play of the third, so Jaden Fulp runs out. He goes near the sticks, and Richburg just keeps chugging up the sideline. He's right at the first down. They might give it to him here.
And close, yeah, they sure are going to give it to him. Nice comeback route, works the sideline, good pass. Sometimes it's just about getting the football into the hands of your best weapons. Jai Richburg is certainly that within this offense.
Well, an 8-catch, 100-yard game will certainly help. In the state, Tyreek Cooper leads North Carolina 1,200 yards at Kinston. Richburg nearing 1,000 yards himself. And a nice run there on first down. This is the formula, though, for East. If they're going to win games, it's going to go through Jai Richburg's hands.
Yeah, it is, and it has to. I mean, you're talking about a guy that is going to beat most of the corners, certainly in the area and probably in the state. It's going to take some really good corners, and they are out there. But just the size-speed combination that he presents and the way he is able to play that wide receiver position, running the route tree, securing footballs, breaking tackles, has like a DK Metcalf feel to him.
Nice snag by Rottweiler. And then he explodes for 5 yards. That'll move the chains. That was a difficult catch, too.
It sure is. And East, you have to understand, down 2 scores still, but you've got time here. Whole fourth quarter still left in front of you. You've got time to operate your offense as you normally do. Rottweiler gaping hole to the left side of that offensive line takes advantage.
Rottweiler with those Spider-Man hands to snag it. Is it Peter Parker or Spider-Man? Rottweiler gains 3. We know that Richburg's nearing 100 yards. So last week, some of the best receivers in the state. Our friend Henry Kyle from Bishop McGuinness, 113 yards. As Bishop wraps up a 9-1 season. They're rolling at 1A this year.
It's been a lot of fun to watch. A lot of the teams in the area very successful. Bishop McGuinness has been a powerhouse at their own level.
What a turnaround under first-year head coach as well. Now 2nd and 7. Fulp goes short. There's McGee. And McGee gets rocked by 7. Glover, his 10th stop.
Just in the open field, every single time it feels like 7 Glover is making that play. I mean, there has not been a single occasion where he has been one-on-one open field, and a couple times against a running back where he has not made that play. And it seemed like it was going to break for more, but number 7 is there yet again.
Now Glover rushes the D-line. Here's Rottweiler, who's short. He's at midfield. Needs 2 more yards on 4th down. And this feels like you got to go for it, right, if you're East?
100%. Midfield, knowing what's on the line right here, and the ability for this Reagan offense to run time off the clock. So they got to have it down here. And given what it is, it's going to go right into the hands of Rottweiler again.
Wildcat. Rottweiler forward. He dives for the first. They give it to him. Good second effort for the first down.
Needed 1, got about 2. Great job just sticking your nose in there and making the play.
Oh, no, and Rottweiler's down. His knee. Yeah, we'll check on Cannon Rottweiler and take the timeout. Early in this fourth quarter, an injury timeout will send us to break here on My 48. Busy week of games all across the Triad this week, including NCAA football. They'll welcome Towson tomorrow, start in November, believe it or not. Time's flying. Whew. After an upset win over the Campbell Camels with 2 special teams touchdowns, A&T football, you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Always something fun. First-year coaching staff is there as well in Greensboro.
Done a good job of bringing some excitement back to the A&T program as well.
We have Elon and A&T games on my 48 this year, all the home games. So after the injury timeout, clock starts running, 9 minutes to go, 2-score game, little play action. Fulp has to run, and here's where the athlete can do some things. Fulp gets pushed out for a gain of 4.
It's one of those nice decisions. Does it get you a ton of yards? No, but it gets you some, keeps you on schedule. Now 2nd down instead of long, you're about medium to go. Just because you're smart enough to pull the football down, use that athletic ability to get yards with your legs.
He was pushed out by Lakota Fisher in coverage. Keep in mind, Samaj Reed, the junior linebacker, unavailable tonight. So not full depth in that secondary. Another short gain, actually a loss of 3 with Rajicic touching him.
I wonder if that pass wasn't supposed to come out as soon as it did. Fuller was looking for it, and right when he turned around to go look for it, the ball was right in his face almost. Just some of that pressure, Fulp had to get the football out quickly.
They reset the play clock on 3rd and long.
See the communication right here, trying to figure out that defense of Reagan.
Fulp goes outside. Richburg incomplete. Nice coverage by Kelly. That was clean in the secondary.
Sure was. Right over the back. Clean DB play that time. And a really good job by Antonio Kelly Jr. as well. Just gets there, has position from the backside. Still able to make the play against a bigger receiver in Richburg.
That's great coverage.
That's great coverage. It's playing through the hands that time. Watching that, and instead of attacking the receiver, you attack the hands where that football's going. Nice play by Kelly.
This might be the ball game here for East. 4th and 9. Timeout, Reagan to discuss.
Got to think here, if I'm Reagan, I'm trying to put a spy on Fulp. Make sure that he doesn't hurt us with our legs here. Get him out there. Track these receivers.
Reagan's played a handful of nail-biters this year. Beat Oak Grove by 1 point. Held off Lake Norman in the 4th quarter. Those are playoff opponents.
It's worth noting that Oak Grove win as well. It was 7-6. So it was a very low-scoring game at the very beginning of the season. This offense still trying to figure itself out with Smith back at the helm for the first time in a year. But they've done a good job. When the time has come for them to go out and win a football game for the better part of the year, they have done exactly that. And especially in clutch moments, and this certainly counts as one of those moments. On the road, quality opponent, last game of the regular season.
The way Reagan leans on people, this is not a team you want to trail in the playoffs.
No.
You can play ahead of them, make them play out of
their system.
Exactly.
Yes. But as soon as the game starts to lean their way, they're very advantageous, and they will jump on that opportunity, and more often than not, they're going to take off and run with it.
And their band's very spirited tonight. We got Mario Brothers. We got Buc-ee's.
I've got to ask.
We got the ghost of Casper.
Have you been to Buc-ee's yet?
Oh, I have, off 95.
It's beautiful.
Oh, it's a beautiful place.
Oh, my gosh.
They just built one in Durham as well.
Is it up?
It's up and running.
Oh, my God.
Might be the post-game stop for me on the way home. Here's 4th of the ball game. Fulp, he's scrambling. Here's a flag. Fulp sprints. He's got the first. But there's a flag. And let's see what this is.
Boy, oh boy. Fulp.
That looks in the holding territory.
It sure does. Fulp did a nice job, though, reversing field, trying to break that contain.
Which will turn this into 4th and really long.
But the problem with that is you break that contain, all of a sudden those blocks become more challenging. Defenders switch. And he's taking a big chance here by punting this football away.
East a little indecisive about whether to punt or go for it. It's kind of a mixed bag.
Fulp is off the field.
Remember, the last 3 weeks, East Forsyth 113 points. It had been ho-hum. And now the punt unit on for the 5th time tonight. Shaboyi booming. And a fair catch. Reagan starts up 2 scores, and we come back. Final 8 minutes of the regular season. We'll be right back with more high school football here in Kernersville when we return. Welcome back to Winston-Salem. We got a lot of friends to thank tonight. Dwayne Lowry, Kathy Keys, Kaz Stone. Eric's always a hoot as well, Eric Dowdy. Everybody covering the game tonight. We got Nick Walker, our engineer, keeping us entertained. How about our friends? We got Lori Bates producing, Russell Jones directed tonight, Cody Love. He's always got the graphics cooking. Cody's always a good friend to talk to when it's food time around Mountain Fried Chicken. Cody always has some good jokes. Kevin on audio tonight, Trace Whitley on replay. Our friend Drew DiMarcantonio watching in Kernersville. He had the night off tonight. Here on the ground to Evans here in this 4th quarter. It takes a whole crew to put these shows together, Mark, and year in and year out. Not just great football, but great productions as well.
Yeah, we have the easy job. We get to come on here, talk sports, and do a great job. But without them, it doesn't get presented to everyone at home, online, wherever it may be. They don't get to hear our voices. Whether that's good or bad, we don't know. But certainly without everyone that works out of the truck around the field, we could not do it without any of you, so we thank you so much.
A crew that lets us dress up on Halloween. That's when you know things are going right.
Absolutely nutty.
With our reindeer Hannah on the sidelines. Here's Reagan controlling the clock in this second half. Smith on 2nd and 9. Goes back to Evans. There's good blocking. Wow, Evans is gone.
Hello.
A foot race inside the 30, and Evans hangs on and scores. Incredible. 75 yards to the house, and Evans for the 3rd time tonight.
Evan, you pointed it out, the size along the left side of the offensive line. Issa Evans and Thomas Caldwell blocking on the perimeter. Excellent job on that side of the field by Carson Bowman. And it's just the speed, the ability to run the football. Shaboy does everything he can to try to knock that football out. High and tight, though, as John Evans down the field for his 3rd touchdown of the night.
Incredible run. The sophomore John Evans Jr. ran home with a triad touchdown, and there's an explosive for Reagan. And somehow that kick wasn't blocked. I'd love to see that again. It kicked it between 2 guys. Great drive. 25 carries, 190 for John Evans.
So used to seeing that East Forsyth team over the years just create explosive play after explosive play. But tonight, it has been the Reagan Raiders able to find those plays, opportunistic. And you can't say enough, of course, about John Evans. But these offensive linemen, those starting 5 up front, have been enormous through the course of this game. And they are in prime position now to come away with a win in the final night of the regular season.
That's 243 on the ground for Reagan. This is what they do all year long. But flexing their muscle in pursuit of a bye in the playoffs. Not a team I'd want to face in round 2.
No. You can say it time and time again. The more football changes, the more it stays the same. By that, 2 things travel very well, no matter whether you're at home or away. Running the football and playing defense, Reagan does both of those things very well.
Right now, Reagan and Grimsley would be on the same side of the bracket. That'd be a fun matchup. Seen those teams every year battle it out. The kick return here from the end zone. Oh, hold on a second. Big return to the 35. That sets up Zion Pleasant in good field position.
Well, so now, if you are East, you got to score, and you got to score quickly. It goes without saying here, you've got to get some points on the board and start working some magic. At this point, East is looking for anything to get it done.
And here's a quarterback change. Jackson Jordan, the junior, he's only thrown 20 passes all year, and he gets some big reps here in the fourth quarter.
Very interesting.
Jordan goes on the ground. This is Minka Fuller. He'll get 5 yards.
I guess if you feel like you need to keep the defense honest, you're running the football there. But the only thing I can think about Jackson Jordan coming in the game is that he gives them a better chance throwing the football.
Jordan, no touchdowns this year, 1 interception. He's been a spot player in blowout games in the second half. Another handoff. Fuller stretches it. 7, Glover. Of course. Might just want to book him for the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Player of the Game. Evans is sneaking in there late.
Yeah, a little bit. Boy, 7 Glover has just been everywhere tonight. Up and around the line of scrimmage so often as well. Of course, the scoop and score touchdown to open up scoring here in the second half.
This becomes 4-down territory for East Forsyth. Fuller is short. Here's Hannah Brady with more.
Yeah, guys, Cannon Rottweiler, who was the injured player for the Eagles, had to be helped off the field. He was in the medical tent getting evaluated by the medical officials, and he's out of the medical tent now. He's walking around on his own power. It looks to be his left knee. He's in a lot of pain. I don't think he's going back in this game, guys, and that's really, really bad for the East Forsyth offense as they move forward to the postseason.
Yeah, they'll need Rottweiler, certainly, not just tonight, but moving forward. And a gain there on first down. A little pushing and shoving after the play. But with 6 minutes left, urgency has got to pick up here for East.
I mean, of course, you have another quarterback coming in the game. Maybe that's a sign of something, but I just can't imagine them lying down already. It's just so unusual to see an East Forsyth team like this. They don't have the offensive firepower. Likely going into the postseason now at 6-4 by the time the night's done here.
Here's the first pass for Jordan. Turns into a run play. Explosive. Jackson Jordan gets to the 20, but a flag. And it's on the offense. Illegal man in motion.
Tough break that time. Seemed like some of that motion, there was a couple guys going in motion at the same time. Got to have someone set before someone else can go. Negates a strong run that time as well. And Jackson Jordan took off with that football. You see a couple guys here, everyone moving at the same time. Caught illegal motion, but it might as well just been a false start.
Negates a 30-yard run, which is even more important. Given East's inability to have explosive plays. Jordan on 2nd and long. Richburg making some jukes, but he's still short of the sticks. 10 catches for Jai Richburg.
I guess the thing that I've just noticed, Evan, is that you don't have, part of the explosive play is just, is it not the willingness to want to create an explosive play? Because there hasn't been a single time where they've sent Jai Richburg down the field just on a go route and throw a ball to him down the field. They haven't done the same thing with Cepeda either.
Now Micah Fuller in it, the flex back spot. He's right at the sticks. They give him the first with 4:35 to go. This Reagan defense, the first 8 weeks of the year, was giving up less than 10 points. Now, the West game was standing. This defense is dangerous.
It inflates it a little bit, sure, but boy, when they're playing this brand of football, they are dominating up front, the line of scrimmage. They have clearly dominated that throughout the course of this football game, certainly as it has gone on. That's what they want to do. And if they get you in that spot, that's where they become truly dangerous.
Well, here's the deep shot. And Richburg, was he in bounds? No, he was not.
Had that left foot come down out of bounds first.
Well, there's the deep shot you were calling for Jai Richburg.
I mean, they just need to have that. If you're going to create the explosive play, it can't just always come from catch-and-run situations. You've got to take those shots down the field and just right there out of bounds. I said left foot. His right foot was the one that actually came down out of bounds.
This Reagan band is rocking and rolling, up 3 scores in the 4th. Jordan, the keeper. 3rd and long coming up.
It's very possible going into next season, barring anything else that might happen.
The band's going into squats now. They're going to slowly rise up, right? But the one kid doesn't have an instrument. We got to find his role.
Hey, I'm having a good time up there.
He might be the chauffeur. How can you blame him? Reagan looking for their first win in 4 years over East.
Yep.
West picked up its first win in 6 years over East.
And we've talked about it, Evan. I mean, we talked about Bryce Baker throughout the course of this broadcast, but you've had other guys that have also left.
Jalen Rayner at Arkansas State.
Right, correct. I mean, just over the course of time, not even as far back as Jalen Rayner, greatest quarterback he was. You had Jalen Murray that left after last year. The J.P. Gilchrist is not out wide. There's Corey Blyer, Sean Brown. I mean, these are guys that over the course of years, it takes you time to rebuild that. I mean, these are difference makers across the board that you're trying to replace. And every now and then, because those bodies aren't there and you have to have new guys step up, down years happen.
East will be a playoff team, but to your point, where they get seated, there's a lot to be determined on Sunday. I think the association heard Adrian Snow thoughts last week. Selection Sunday now. Then first round next Friday. Here's Gilchrist on the toss. He scored a 65-yarder on a similar play. Gets just 3 that time. Reagan's very happy letting this clock tick.
Sure. To Coach Snow's point, though, Evan, I mean, I wouldn't want to have that done on Monday either. I want to know who I'm playing. I don't want to just go into Monday afternoon and be like, okay, now we finally know. I want to have that time. If you're going to give me a week to prep for someone, if I am playing in the first round, let me know.
All in pursuit of state title weekend, December 11th through the 13th.
Even a bye week, it completely changes the complexion of it.
Here's a deep shot and a touchdown. First pass for Jackson Jordan of the young season. He finds Cepeda. Miscommunication in the Reagan defense left a man wide open.
Yeah, really nice job. Working through his progression. Jackson Jordan, you'll see him right here. Starts on that side, comes back, pump fake, and then gets Cepeda wide open down that side of the field for the easy pitch and catch.
Here's Ismar Areola Meza, the senior kicker. On the run home of a triad touchdown. Might be too little too late for East, but a little more explosive in the passing game here with Jackson Jordan.
Oh, certainly, and they're willing to take those shots down the field and almost. I don't know if Fulp just didn't feel confident in doing it or hasn't felt confident in doing it, but Jackson Jordan comes in there, makes a couple plays, makes a couple good throws, and gets them into the end zone. I think part of the offense and part of the solution to creating explosiveness within an offense is not just connecting on those plays, but constantly showing the willingness to do that. I mean, how many times have we seen over the years, Evan, a defense rallied up to the line of scrimmage, and just because an offense is taking shots down the field, they don't always connect. But the defense has to be aware of that. They have to start covering that and accounting for it. They back off the line of scrimmage, and it opens things up.
This could be one of Josh McGee's best programs here at Reagan. A chance to go 8-2 in the regular season. They're currently ranked 32nd in the state. They've played good football. Here's an onside kick. That is live. East has it. Well, hang on a second here. Right through the hands of Mekhi Brown.
Well, it took a slow enough roll that he almost had to panic when the football got to him because that kicking unit was bearing down on him and just misses the opportunity to take it on the short hop that time. Couple different defenders there. Chaboy around the football.
Well, how many times on Friday Night Rivals have we seen East Forsyth come storming back? Usually it's against Tyshawn Brown and Mount Tabor. There's the play action. Jordan takes another shot. Richburg catches it. Whoa. It was a flying duck, and he found it.
It was a knuckleball into the night sky, Evan, but my goodness. You go up and just give Jai Richburg an opportunity to come down with the football. He's going to make that play more often than not. Recognize it, comes back, and high points it. Great job by number 11.
12 catches for Richburg. Now Jordan loses a yard. Good pursuit by this defensive line. But now the clock becomes a factor.
Sure does. Still those 3 timeouts in their back pocket, but you've got to start playing some football here with some urgency.
Jackson Jordan, sophomore quarterback. These are big spots.
Right at the bottom of your screen, though. Richburg again, size matchup.
He looks that way. Jordan runs it, and a flag. Another duck, almost picked. But a penalty behind the line.
Given the area, it seems like a pretty clear call. So now you back it up a little bit more, but maybe that's not such a bad thing. If you're trying to get the ball into the end zone, give yourself more space vertically on the field now. Feels like one of the seldom opportunities where a penalty actually may end up helping an offense. Defense right now is spread out a little bit too. There's only one safety back right there in the middle of your screen. That's Jonathan Long.
Here's second and forever for young Jackson Jordan. Runs in the pocket. So now the clock's going to start ticking inside of 2 minutes. And down 2 scores. I mean, I know you got 3 timeouts, but
yeah, and especially with a young quarterback in there who's not your usual starter, you got to start taking some of those timeouts and conserving clock.
Clock just keeps ticking. At some point, you just throw it to Richburg and see if he can bring it in. Here's a blitz. Jordan scrambles. He goes Richburg's way. Incomplete. Wanting Cepeda that time. No flag.
Good coverage. Good job the whole way around by Reagan defensively here. Get the rush. Throw Jordan off his mark. Gets a pass into the end zone, but the coverage too tight there. Seven Glover again. Even there, Jonathan Long was also along to help with some late back-end coverage too. This is the ball game now if you're East Forsyth.
And a timeout for Reagan. Defensively,
the first down they have to get to is about the 9.5 yard line. Let's call it the 9. I think given all of that, this ball is going into the end zone. So defensively, Reagan's got to understand exactly, again, where that down and distance is. And if they can play some sound defense here, essentially lock away this game for them, even with those 3 timeouts left for East Forsyth.
Great battle of 7A playoff teams tonight. We know Reagan is mostly in line for a bye. East, with a win, could earn that spot.
Well,
with a loss, they need some help.
This game does essentially guarantee the victor a bye next week.
And a home game.
Yeah, on top of that, correct.
With most likely a Grimsley or a Weddington looming in the 2nd or 3rd round. 2 of the best teams in the state. That 7A is murderer's row.
Sure is.
To get to the final.
And it's interesting because it really does spell out how good, how great Grimsley and Weddington are. Because when you drop down a tier, you start talking about Reagan, you start talking about a Mooresville, a Lake Norman, teams like that, and they are also excellent.
Here's fourth in the game. Jordan throws a prayer, tipped away. And Antonio Kelly secures it for Reagan. That dynamic duo of Kelly and Glover, really good tonight.
Really great at that corner spot. Kelly again makes a play. We've talked about Seven Glover a lot tonight, but let's give the flowers to Antonio Kelly Jr. He's played an outstanding game on the opposite side of the field. You don't need an interception. Just knock the football away, and your offense takes back over. Knock it away, goes into the end zone, falls to the turf, and Reagan takes over.
This Reagan defense, top 10 in scoring in the state coming in.
It's at all three levels, Evan. They do such a great job at all three levels of the defense.
And now Evans can do what he does best. Nearing the 200-yard mark. There's the first, actually no timeout call by East. Well, I realize you can play two sides of the coin here, but if you're East, you've had your chances.
Yeah. And it does make you think a little bit about several key points in this game, namely at the end of the first half. Those three timeouts, not using it near midfield with just under a minute left in the first half, and just simply letting it salt away. I mean, it's just those times where you start thinking, what if in a football game like this?
Reagan's one snap away from securing this win.
All that to say, Reagan loses 35-0 last week. People start to dismiss them a little bit. And they have come in here tonight and answered any doubts they had to their football team, not just with a win, not just a win against a heated rival, potentially a first-round bye.
How about our Norris Automotive drive of the game? Evans, 1 of 3 scores.
Great job, the explosive play right before the end of the first half. They get out there, the deep pass down the field. Great connection from Jacob Smith to Carson Bowman sets up the second of 3 touchdown runs for John Evans Jr. in this football game. Well deserving.
What a trick-or-treat night on Halloween. Reagan providing all the treats. 3 scores for Evans Jr. the third, and Reagan, a dangerous team entering the 7A playoffs here in North Carolina. Reagan beats their rivals, East Forsyth, the 2-score battle. We'll step aside and get thoughts from the Reagan Raiders when we come back. What an end to the regular season here on Friday Night Rivals. We have more from Kernersville.
Well, Coach, a dominating performance tonight over East Forsyth. You told me this week that this team still had a lot of meat left on the bone. How did they prove that tonight?
Yeah, I think we just we had a lot to prove after last week. You know, we left a bad taste in our mouth. We felt like we just didn't kind of play our brand of ball, and so we challenged them all week to kind of get back to who we were and put our brand on display, and couldn't be more proud of this group.
We got to talk about John Evans Jr., our player of the game tonight. He's continuing to prove why he has been the high school athlete of the week 2 times this season. Just talk about him and his ability to crack the run.
Yeah, just a tough runner. He's got sneaky speed. The big boys up front did a great job. But, you know, I think this was such a great team win for us. Our defense played lights out, complimentary football. We talked about that at halftime, and we were able to put 4 quarters of it together, and this is the result.
Coaches, you continue to build on this as you go into the postseason. What do you gain from this win as you look to build on it with a bye week now?
This is huge. You know, coming off again last week, just not knowing you didn't play your best ball, to be able to kind of have some momentum, positive energy going into the postseason, it's big for us. And, you know, we got to get some guys healed up and try to make a run.
Well, congratulations, Coach. And we're going to present you with this Friday Night Rivals game, a trophy, and congratulations to you all.
Yeah, the Reagan Raiders living it up. 2 TV celebrations for Reagan this year. And how about our player of the game, Winston-Salem Fairgrounds, Isaiah Evans taking over?
Yeah, I mean, just an absolute monster. Again tonight, saw him earlier in the year against Reedsville, dominant there. Saw him tonight in the last regular season week, dominant here as well. An absolute stud, over 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. And it's safe to say, salted this one away with his long touchdown run in the 4th quarter. Very deserving of our Winston-Salem Fairgrounds player of the game.
John Evans Jr., man, what a running back. Just a sophomore. This kid's going to be special come playoff time. And then our play of the game, Caringhan's play of the game, you just saw it, an explosive touchdown run.
Yeah, the one that essentially sealed away this football game this evening. Takes off the left side of that gigantic offensive line. You see his teammates on the sideline dragging him on. And despite the pursuit of Dominique Chaboy down the field, hangs onto that one, cradles it into the end zone, and sends Reagan into the postseason with a W and potentially a first-round bye.
Yeah, at 8-2 overall. This Reagan team, dynamic. And then our NCHSAA stop of the game, school bus stop. Every state requires drivers to always stop for a school bus when that stop arm's out and the red lights are flashing. And this scoop and score was huge in the second half.
Absolutely. So many key moments in this game, especially on scoring plays. But Seven Glover, the man who is in the right place at the right time at all times, finds the football on the ground, forced by his teammate Trevor Willard, coughs it up. Seven Glover scoops and scores and takes it into the end zone.
The Reagan Raiders, they're flexing their muscle entering playoff season. Look at that trophy. Great way to celebrate a long regular season that gets started in early August. We want to thank all the sponsors who've made this full season of regular season possible. And, of course, we got the state championship games cooking. But first, we want to thank Capital Metals, Cook Rentals, Mountain Fried Chicken, everybody who's involved in these broadcasts. All the programs, this is all year long, right? Going back to the Keep Pounding Classic.
Yep.
Good news, we've got some more football cooking on tap. December 11th through the 13th. State championships, 3 different sites, Durham, Chapel Hill, Lenore Ryan Wolf games on My48 all week. And that concludes our regular season coverage here, Friday Night Rivals. Great year, and it kickstarts the postseason. That begins next Friday. And all the roads lead to championship weekend in just under a month. A fun rivalry matchup here in Kernersville and a great season. 10 fun weeks of regular season football. For Mark Colbert, Hannah Brady, Evan Budrovich. We'll see you next year, and we'll see you in the state tournament here in North Carolina.
There was never plan B, just a path I'm taking, breaking on through on